The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Stop! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this massive overreaction free agency Frenzy Monday, March 10, 2025. This program starts now.
Football
is the topic of discussion. How could it not be? Obviously, the NBA's playing, and hey, LeBron, we're pulling for your groin.
Hell yeah.
College basketball is taking place all over the place. Good luck to you young lads trying to chase that one shining moment. But the NFL in football is the topic of discussion everywhere because there are millions and millions of dollars being given out. Yeah, the new going rate for a good pass rusher, $40 million a year. The new guarantee for a good quarterback, $250 million guaranteed. There is contracts being created and extensions being signed, and free agency officially kicked off 55 seconds ago. So the new league year basically is in store. What teams will sign who? Who will end up where? We'll cover it all for the next 2.5, 3 hours, and we're so thankful that you allow us to do this for a living. We got a big one. We caught up with Beane, the general manager for the Buffalo Bills, earlier today. We have about a 15-minute conversation with him. We will show in a matter of moments. We have Ben Roethlisberger joining us for his thoughts on the new Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf, who got $130 million to become their wideout in the Steel City. Obviously, they've been looking for a wide receiver for years. They get DK after sending a second-rounder over to Seattle. Remember, Seattle was looking for a first and a third. We all wondered if that was going to be possible for anybody. They end up settling on a second and a pick swap in the 6th and 7th round with the Pittsburgh Steelers. DK renegotiates a $150 million contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is now a member of Mike Tomlin's team. Who's going to be their quarterback? That's the big topic of convo. Was Ben Roethlisberger, who he thinks, and maybe it's him. He put a video out of him with a helmet on, and we saw him working out this morning whenever we FaceTime him. Puka Nacua will join us in the next hour. Obviously, Davante Adams is now a member of the Los Angeles Rams. That deal was negotiated while he was in Japan with Sean McVay, and now Puka, Davante, Matthew Stafford on a good team-friendly deal, allegedly, if you listen to what McVay said. And McVay back trying to go on a run with a young defense that was so close to beating the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Are they now over the hump with a massive signing of Davante? And where does Cooper Kupp end up? All that is to happen potentially today. And who will have the answers? Well, maybe it'll be Ian Rapoport. Rap Sheet will be joining us at 1:20 Eastern Standard Time. And then maybe a surprise guest here or there that could drop some more information for situations brewing around the NFL. It's not just me. Obviously, the boys are here. The Toxic Table is here, but it looks a little bit different. At Boston Connor, incredible jersey, pal. That number 50 triple XL has never looked better.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is the head coach jersey. Of course, massive day for the supreme commander of the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel. Let's see what happens with old New England and all that money.
Well, speaking of money, I saw Mike Vrabel at the blackjack table just about 72 hours ago. Love that he's in there practicing a little bit about poker, you know, practicing about gambling. When you go ride, when you pull back, when do you double down, when do you let the cards tell the story, when do you split, when do you ride? That's what Mike Vrabel was tightening up with, especially right before free agency. You guys have the most amount of money out of any team in the league. I know you're very eager and excited. Who are some of the top guys that the Patriots fans are hoping end up being on the roster by the end of today?
Yeah, a few of them. Charvarius Ward's probably right at the top. He's the corner from San Francisco. If he were to come over, him and Christian Gonzalez immediately become probably the best tandem in the NFL. Chris Godwin, one of those guys you could throw in. Cooper Kupp, who's not technically a free agent, but someone that could easily get moved today. Milton Williams, the defensive tackle from the Eagles, who had a massive Super Bowl. And then some of the old linemen, George Fant, a tackle from Seattle. Of course, there's the Atlanta center. Everyone loves Big Drew. So there's a few guys we're looking for and hoping for. Let's just see if X can hold out for.
122.4 mil is what the New England Patriots have, and obviously you can salary cap gymnastics that thing. Excited to see how they use it and all the other teams that have cash. The Chargers signed Khalil Mack earlier today to a 1-year, $18 million deal. Not 100% sure if that cap space is updated with that particular contract. Bruce Brown sitting in for Ty Schmidt. Ty Schmidt has something going on with his family. T's and P's, we love you, Ty. We will see you soon. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, cowboy hats back. AP Tone. Steelers are a massive topic of conversation. We'll get into it. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. D-Butch, obviously you play corner, nickel, and safety. J.C. Horn just signed a $25 million per year deal for the Carolina Panthers. How do you feel about that deal?
I feel great. Anytime a guy gets to the top of the market, I'm happy about that. Talented guy. A few years ago, he was drafted one pick ahead of Patrick Surtain, who just got his new bag, just won Defensive Player of the Year. So that's great for him and great for these young cornerbacks, these studs that will be getting paid soon. Stingley out there in Houston will be one of them. I am a little concerned, though, with the gap that has become larger and larger by year between the top corners and the top wide receivers and pass rushers. So hopefully that starts to close a little bit more. Yeah,
it's very fascinating because quarterback, obviously the most important position in all of sport, certainly in all of ball. $250 million guaranteed. Josh Allen just got a 6-year deal. We talked to Brandon Beane earlier. Can't wait for the world to hear that. Pass rusher, because you can get to the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
That becomes very valuable. Well, who's the quarterback throwing to? Well, he's throwing a wide receiver, so that's very valuable. Corner is somebody you would think would be propped up on a pedestal, but instead the offensive numbers are growing, and it feels like the cornerback market's kind of staying still.
And corners used to, the top elite corners used to get paid more than the wide receivers, the Namzis, the Reeveses, those guys. But I think what's changed more is the receivers, they can move around so much now. So it used to be, hey, Jamar Chase, if he's an X or a Z, I could put my top corner on him and kind of try to eliminate him out of the game. But now Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all the top guys can go outside, can go inside. And a lot of the top corners don't follow inside, outside, left or right. So I think that's a part of the reasons there as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, free agency frenzy has begun. Big bag going to Hassan Reddick, who was with the Jets.
Kinda.
Eagles to the Jets, doesn't step foot in the building, but he gets traded for, which a beautiful depiction of the ineptitude that was happening at the Jets. Not that that's going to continue, just saying it certainly did take place. He is now on a 1-year deal for $14 million with $12 million guaranteed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Drew Rosenhaus negotiates that deal. Congrats to Hassan Reddick, and congrats to us getting to see him play football again. Yeah. There were some videos of him training. Seems like he's still in it. Takes a year off of ball. Now he's potentially back with the Bucs. $12 million guaranteed. Good for him.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for the Bucs because they need pass rushers. A lot of upside there with the 1-year deal. Is that Twitter?
That didn't look like Twitter.
I don't know.
Looks like a thread.
Oh, that's Threads. Yeah, X is Dahn.
On free agency day?
Yeah, free agency frenzy Monday. X being down. This is punch directly in the nuts. I mean, this is a tough go here, and it started a couple hours ago. We get on X. We expect a lot of news to be breaking, and I posted on Instagram like, hey, X being down on this particular day. Okay, it just can't happen. All right, so Elon needs to figure it out. The team over there needs to figure it out for sure. It seems to be still down, kind of intermittent, coming and going. That is not good for any of us that are in the news world. Once I posted on Instagram, I had a lot of people tell me, X isn't that good. Okay, you don't do news every day. X is the news. That is the news platform. And it doesn't mean you have to be part of it, but with us having to know everything that's basically going on around sport, X is the spot. X is the place that, kind of breaks everything out and maybe even days before everywhere else does. So that happening right now is a nightmare. But don't you fear. Bubba Gumpino has his Threads account up and running.
Attaboy.
Shefty's posting on there. I believe Rap's posted on there as well. I heard some people over on Blue Sky. All these things don't really serve a purpose until the moment comes. And now the moment has come. Shout out to Threads making this magic happen. And shout out to you, Gumpy, with the Splunker on, trying to get to the bottom of everything.
Yeah, it's great. Unfortunately, I can't get a video out on X right now either. So things are going great.
Ladies and gentlemen, another big Bag alert. Jaylon Moore, former offensive tackle for the 49ers, has signed a deal with the Chiefs. 2-year, $30 million, including $21 million fully guaranteed at signing with the Chiefs per sources. The deal was negotiated by John Persley and Brian Mackler of Sports Stars.
Hell yeah.
Don't be a sports reg. Be a sport star, says John and Brian Mackler. Jaylon Moore heads over to the Kansas City Chiefs. We knew the Kansas City Chiefs were going to invest in the offensive line. Now, they got rid of Joe Thuney and traded him to Chicago. Shout out to Chicago getting an all-pro. They put the tag on Trey Smith at guard. Because of the way the franchise tag works, he's getting paid 24-point-something million to play guard, which is by far the most money a guard is making around the league. They'll still try to negotiate a long-term deal with him. Creed Humphrey at the middle. Now Jaylon Moore of the Niners at tackle. And if you go back to the Kansas City Chiefs losing the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the exact same reason that they lost the Super Bowl this year, which is they couldn't protect Patrick. They had no offensive line. They immediately invested in the offensive line, and then they would win 2 more Super Bowls after that. That's what the Chiefs are doing. It's kind of a part of their game plan. Like the Jaylon Moore signing. Don't know a lot about him, but I like that they're investing in a tackle for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, definitely got to wait for AQ to give me the breakdown on him. But, yeah, you got to protect 15. You got to protect the franchise. You mentioned the 2 Super Bowls they lost. That was the reason why. And after Josh Allen getting his new deal, you would also anticipate Patrick Mahomes getting a hefty pay raise soon as well.
Yeah, and once you hear the conversation we had with Beane, it's interesting what Josh Allen was saying to Beane every time a new deal came around for a quarterback position. Speaking of a new deal, we have another.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
Bag alert. Chris Godwin is going back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 years, $66 million, chance to make 24 deal done by Tory Dandy. $44 million guaranteed at signing. Congratulations to Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
Penn State, obviously known for his work down at Tampa Bay. He's a slot. He can go outside. He's tough. He's smart. He's beloved by his teammates and by the locker room. There's a lot of people that were hoping Chris Godwin would potentially be coming into their building, including and not only the New England Patriots, which is why the deep sigh came immediately upon reading Chris Godwin going back to the Bucs. Congrats to Light getting that deal done. Congrats to Baker having him as an option yet again. And congrats to Chris Godwin getting paid as a guy who's worked his ass off over the years to be the best teammate, best wide receiver he could possibly be down there in the Bay.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing it feels like with Chris Godwin is like the culture type of guy. Like I think we all remember when he got hurt this year, immediately while he's getting carted off with his leg in an air cast, he actually said, and they pitched it up on the broadcast, like time to go back to work. And I feel like especially when you guys talk about rehab and how much it sucks, and he's had an ACL recently, and then he had this bad injury last year as well, and right away just ready to put in the hours. That's kind of one of those guys who was the top wide receiver in that kind of echelon, especially for a team like New England. I know Pittsburgh, Tony was another team that wanted Chris Godwin, but yeah, just one of those guys that just works his ass off, and awesome for him. He's going back to Tampa without any of that income tax.
Mike Evans still down there. Baker Mayfield still down there. Look out for the Bucs. Are we thinking about the Bucs maybe going on a run? What else? What other moves they make? We shall see. Keeping Godwin down there. Big message to everybody.
Big message. You keep your core playmakers intact. Obviously coming back with the quarterback. Now the big thing is moving on. You got another OC coming in following Liam Cohen, who did a tremendous job, and that's why he got hired down in Jacksonville. But I'm glad to see Chris Godwin got his well-deserved money, even coming off of that ugly injury. Got $44 million guaranteed. That's a good deal for Chris.
Yeah, great for like an OC too, who doesn't have to change that much.
Yeah,
like now it's another wide receiver that knows the offense in the system. You don't have to like kind of go through that entire thing. And with McMillan came on at the end when Godwin was hurt. Their rookie from Washington, that third guy, and so that they're kind of prepped to run that division again.
Myles Garrett signed a $40 million per year deal back to the Cleveland Browns. Congrats to him.
My God.
Okay, that's a lot of fucking money.
Change of heart.
That is a change of heart money. I do wonder, Nicole Lynn, his agent, who we've reached out to, hopefully, absolute beast. Absolute beast, Nicole Lynn. I've reached out to her about joining our show to talk about how this came together. She said she would like Myles to be the first person to talk about the deal, and then she would obviously enjoy. Myles isn't her only client, and if you are with Nicole Lynn, you are going to get the bag. I mean, that is Mulugeta, Nicole Lynn, Rosenhaus. They're starting to become a separator in who's who in the agency world. $40 million a year for a game record. I don't think anybody expected that. Now, we all know the story. Myles came out and said, I ain't doing it anymore. I seen Joe Thomas. I'm watching Batonio. I see these Browns fans. They're so loyal. They're so great. They fucking stink. This team sucks. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be known as a guy that was just really good at football and then never won. I want to win. I want to have some relevancy. I want to dance under confetti sometime. I want to experience the biggest stage. I want to be a Super Bowl champion. And you can't blame him for saying that. You can obviously appreciate and respect the competitor that he is for saying that. And then, Andrew Berry came out, the general manager for the Cleveland Browns, and he said, there's no world where Myles Garrett is not going to be a Cleveland Brown. End of story. Then Myles Garrett said, I want to talk to the owner. I want to talk to Hassan. Hassan said, I ain't got time for you, buddy. Okay? You're going to have to go talk to Andrew Berry. There's a bureaucracy here. So we thought it was ugly. We thought it was going to be nasty. And then we open our phone and we see, holy hell, Myles Garrett said, yeah, if they're going to give me $40 million, if it's going to be $40 million a year, I will. I guess go Browns. Go Browns.
Yeah.
None of us have any idea how they're going to be able to win with how much money they're giving to Deshaun Watson and how much money they're giving to Myles Garrett. And obviously, this is something that Andrew Berry and that team is going to have to figure out with some salary cap gymnastics. Like, how do they even field a team at this point? But Howie with the Eagles has been able to showcase that you can pay a lot of people. Now, this is a different level of money at a different position that I don't think we expected to get to 40 just yet. 35 is where Max Crosby was.
Yeah.
Now it jumps up to 40. What does this mean for TJ and Micah and Trey Hendrickson and Aiden Hutchinson, I guess, who is certainly in negotiations? It means it's good news for them. I don't think any team is going to match what the Cleveland Browns did here, just like with what happened after Deshaun Watson's new deal. But this certainly sways it in their favor in negotiations. So congrats to all parties, and congrats to Myles being like, $39.5 million. You go over that per year, I'll come back and get 40. I don't want to win. All right. Fine. Let's go ahead and do it. But hopefully they win. Myles Garrett is a guy who can win games for you. Congrats to him. Congrats to all the defensive ends / pass rushers.
Yes, we just talked about kind of the hierarchy when it comes to who pay, why pay, the position. And if you can impact the passer, you're going to get paid the big bag. Now, $40 million, like you said, I don't think anybody jumps that this year. But I think some people will get close. Micah's there. TJ's in that conversation. Hopefully Hendrickson gets some respect. And you talked about big boy out there, and big Hutch out there in Detroit. But, yeah, this is crazy for Cleveland. Now, it got to hit on the quarterback. I think you're a quarterback away. Obviously, you always got to have that guy at the trigger man position. If they hit on the quarterback in this draft, I think they can contend pretty soon here. Now,
to be clear, you're going to get taxed if you're a shit team, okay, by players. You're going to have to overpay. And Cleveland had to overpay with Deshaun because Deshaun's people and Deshaun said, we're not going to Cleveland. We're going to go elsewhere. So then they come back over the top with a ridiculous offer. And Deshaun's like, okay, if they're going to $230 million guaranteed, yeah. Fully guaranteed contract, yeah. Okay, I guess we have to do that. Same thing happens here with Myles. Bad teams sometimes are going to have to overpay. That is just a matter of fact whenever you're thinking about players, great players, legacies, you name it. This is an absurd number. We assume pass rusher is going to get to this number at some point. It's here now. Congrats to Myles. Once again, can they win? We have no idea. That's a lot of money to go to a pass rusher, but you're going to give that money to somebody. Why not give it to a guy that can take over a game? Now, does he take over every game? No. Do the Browns win a lot of games with him on the team? No. Does that mean they'll be different next year? Maybe. We have no idea how this goes down, but congrats to Myles getting life-changing cash for not only he, but the rest of defensive ends.
Well, and what we talked about before, like quarterback is the number one position to get paid, and then the position we listed right after is pass rusher. So it does make sense that he's getting that much money. To D-But's point, getting that rookie quarterback right, having that contract for a little bit might kind of cancel this out. But another thing people pointed to immediately was Duke Tobin over the weekend saying Jamar Chase, he's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. Then this deal comes out, and now you wonder if the Bengals are like, okay, shit, now we might be screwed. We might have to move on from, T. Higgins, because a lot of people are thinking they're going to be able to pay both of them. But if Jamar's going to fetch, $40.1 million, then maybe not.
Yeah, and T and Jamar both knew that what Duke was saying was probably just, a little capping.
He's capping?
He's a little capping out there. Probably a little bit of capping. We'll see. Ideally, he said we want to do this. If Jamar gets $41 million a year or $40.1 million a year at wide receiver, okay, makes sense. How do they go about the rest of the roster. That is up to Duke Tobin. This does affect immediately the Pittsburgh Steelers and T.J. Watt, who's seemingly next in line with the contract deal. $40 million is the going rate. What do you think Omar Khan does with this? They just paid $30 million a year to a wide receiver who's done nothing for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Correct.
Would they pay TJ $40 million a year for carrying the Pittsburgh Steelers whenever he's playing football? We shall see TBD.
Yeah, it's crazy because Max got that 35, and then Myles gets the 40, and you would think TJ would be closer to that 40 because he is in that Myles category as far as sacks and pressures and Defensive Player of the Year awards and things like that. So you would think he would be closer to that 40. TJ is going to be 31 in this upcoming season, so like $40 million a year, that is crazy to think, but the cap is going up so much every single year, and Omar Khan is a wizard. I think it's something that they can get done. I think they have to get done. I mean, he's a legacy Steeler player. I don't see a situation where they're going to trade him or let her walk or whatever. But like JJ was on the show last week and said, the Steelers could have got this deal done last year for a lot less, which, we are starting to hear that a lot. There was a tweet about the Bengals getting their deals done a year earlier. I think we're seeing more and more what the Eagles get done with their players a year earlier. It pays. Actually, it saves money to pay guys early rather than later.
Yeah, it pays to save.
Bingo.
And to save, you got to do it earlier.
Yes.
And get your deals done. That is seemingly the kind of thread about this particular offseason and free agency frenzy. Speaking of, top center in free agency is currently off the board.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got another big bag. Falcons center Drew Dalman is headed to the Bears to become the NFL's second highest paid center. Dalman gets 3 years, $42 million, with 28 guaranteed in a deal done by Steve Carrick of Wasserman. Dalman, the center from the Falcons, was obviously the hot commodity in the center conversation for this particular free agency. They bring in Tooney, they bring in Jonah, now they bring in Dalman. They are investing heavily in the offensive line of Chicago because Ben Johnson just came from Detroit, and their biggest weapon was how great their offensive line was. With how good the offensive line is, then everything else was able to go. Wanted to send a message to Caleb Williams, hey buddy, we're going to protect you. We don't want you to die like you did last year. But Ben Johnson's also sending a message to all of Chicago, hey listen, in polls, hey listen, we know we got to be a physical football team. It's Chicago. And we've been trying to be finesse and all this other stuff, invest in wideouts and wideouts and wideouts and wideouts. Now they're investing in offensive linemen. Love this move from the Chicago Bears. And a lot of people that needed offensive line help, especially at the center position, bummed out about Dalman going to Chicago, but Chicago should be pumped.
I loved it. AQ spoke glowingly about this guy last week when I asked him about the available O-line. He said this would be the top guy on the board. And when you commit that type of money to the interior of the offensive line, you're protecting that quarterback to where he can step up, he can play on time. Now you're in a position in the draft where you can probably take a dynamic 3-down running back. And I think that'll really put this offense. Obviously, you still have to do things on defense, but the offensive line, you got Caleb. We'll see what you got with that young quarterback going into his second year. Ben Johnson, we know he's a great play caller. But then if you get a dynamic running back on there with DJ Moore and Roman Dunze on the outside, this offense could be special.
To your point, it frees them up in the draft because all the mock drafts before this had them taking Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State, as they needed an interior lineman, and now that they have all those filled, they could take a situation where it's best available player, the best available player for their team. So all this, it makes their O-line great, which is huge for Ben Johnson. And number two, it frees them up in the draft to take them best available. They're not pigeonholed into taking an offensive lineman at that spot.
Love what Poles and Johnson are doing in Chicago. What's the future of Chicago? We shall see. Ben has an offense that is seemingly unstoppable if you can protect the quarterback and if you can run the ball.
Got to run the ball, and then the play action opens up everything.
And I love that Ben is acknowledging that. Will Caleb be able to be a play action quarterback? Excited to see that as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean,
got to turn your back to the defense. That's it doesn't get chatted about a lot. The old school quarterback, the pocket quarterback, the thing that they have the capability of doing that these young, more athletic, dynamic quarterbacks don't either have to do or haven't had to do is turn their back completely to the defense. Because you don't want a dynamic quarterback to do that. You actually want them to see everything so they can make everybody miss. But play action, being able to just shut off any fear, having your back completely to the defense, and then turning and then having to read what's going on after doing that, that is what Jared Goff was phenomenal at.
And then throws it right to St. Brown, right down the middle every single time. That's the whole offense right there.
Peyton, Tom Brady, Goff. This is what this is what this offense is. Now, you add the dynamics of Caleb Williams. I think we're all excited to see what Ben Johnson does with Caleb on top of that. But with the way they're building this, it feels as if we are going to have a play action element. Excited to see how Caleb handles that. I think he's going to be great, but I'm just saying that's an added thing that he's going to have to figure out and work on.
Well, and that's what you and Andrew Whitworth talked about a little bit, is that they didn't have a veteran offensive lineman last year to say, like, hey, we got you on this, third down, 3rd and 8 or whatever. And now there's 3 of them in the middle. And one of them's a Hall of Famer, All-Pro, 4-time Super Bowl champion in Joe Thuney. So it's like that entire kind of mental side of turning your back that Caleb obviously didn't really have last year completely changes that offense.
Yeah, that coaching, man. Coaching, it matters so much. And Jared Goff, he was able to play on time. He was able to be accurate. And Caleb Williams, you would want to see him grow into kind of the quarterback that Aaron Rodgers was. Like, he played on time, he could turn his back, and he could use his legs whenever he needed to.
Okay, Gino Smith traded to the Raiders over the weekend to be their quarterback. He is reunited with Pete Carroll. Congratulations to him. Devontae, obviously, to the Rams. And then the big story, Josh Allen signs the biggest contract in the history of the NFL to remain with the Buffalo Bills. We caught up with the general manager of the Bills, Brandon Beane, earlier today. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Not an easy decision or easy contract to navigate, I could imagine, whenever you're talking about the biggest in history. How long did you know that you wanted to get this done, and how did this come about, Beane?
Yeah, Pat, Josh and I, we have a great relationship, and we keep open dialogue. And, he's always, needling me a little bit, busting my chops every time he gets past a little bit. So we have some fun with it. But we were serious after the season. We talked. We had a good conversation and just said, listen, we'll see what we can do on our end. There's got to be some things, like every good deal. There's got to be a little give and take. We improved his cash flow, obviously, dramatically, and we're able to add a couple years, left. He had 4 years, which normally you wouldn't do, but the way the market's changed, we needed to respect that. And obviously he had an MVP season, and so we were able to work it out. Through both contract negotiations we've had, he's involved to a degree, and I think that helps. He's always trying to think of the team and how the things that we say we need help with structure-wise just to help our cap.
I appreciate you showing him sufficient amount of respect. That's very kind of you. Maybe Boyko could learn a little bit about that in your building. Let's go.
We're working on it.
Yeah. Okay, respect. 6 years. What is the longest contract that you can negotiate with a player in the NFL? And is it 6 years? And how much did the length of the contract help you? And I don't want to say the salary cap gymnastics, but you understand what I'm saying there whenever it comes to how much of it this year versus 2 years from now, because this is kind of the new world that we're in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, like Pat Mahomes, when he did his first one, he did a 10-year. There's a lot of different ways. Our original one with Josh was 6. You can only spread out your signing bonus for so long, but you can continue to add option bonuses each year down the line. So, yes, the more years you have, the more ability you have to spread some of these things out as they go along. And it's kind of like a credit card. You're just kind of moving things around each year by year as your cap, as you get the cap number. So some years we've converted it down, some we've kind of left as is, and we'll be able to continue to manage that going forward.
Okay, so shout out to you, shout out to Josh for getting it done. You see the Philadelphia Eagles, Howie's been able to pay pillar positions over there for the Eagles and win a Super Bowl. The thought is if you pay your quarterback, you can't pay anybody else. That doesn't seem to be true, especially with you. You pay Josh, you pay Bernard, you pay Russo, pay the long snapper. Shout out.
Smart. Yep.
Shout out paying the long snapper. I like you doing that.
Don't forget the long snapper.
And you paid Shakir. Schefter did forget the long snapper, a little bit of positionism, but is that a myth that I think we've all kind of been running with, that once you pay your quarterback, you can't pay anybody else? And how much does the Eagles' construction of their roster, do you study, or what kind of goes into the current set of where you can allocate cash?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's some of it's organizationally. Like, are you willing to spend cash over cap? And that starts with Terry Pagula. Like, he gives us the resources to truly go out and be aggressive at certain times. The cap is real, and so the years you go cash over cap, it's gonna come back down at some point, and you just got to kind of massage that as you go. But there's ways to sign a player for $20 million a year and have his cap number be 5. Now, if it's 5 in year one, it's gonna come up, and at some point, whether you release the player, trade the player, at some point, just like when we moved on from Stephon, we had to eat a big cap number. But you keep that into all your planning each year as you kind of go along, and how the player's doing in your program, and so there are ways to manipulate it for sure, as Howie and some teams do a great job. And yes, we study how everybody does deals and try to make sure we can make it fit with our structure here.
Okay, obviously there's only going to be one team that's going to celebrate at the end of the season. We talked to you down at the Combine. Josh Allen wins an MVP, which is obviously something that I assume the organization is proud of because Josh has only been with the Bills. But what do you think you're sending? What is the message you think you're sending to your locker room with all these deals? This is a lot of deals, brother. I mean, this is a lot of deals for a very good team with a lot of money being handed out. What do you think the message is, and what do you think the mindset is going into next year?
Yeah, the message is it really is what we're about. We want to draft, develop, and re-sign our own. And while we can't do everyone because there is a cap, and sometimes we've had to let some really good players that we've drafted here go on and get contracts elsewhere. But this sends a message to the locker room like, come in, you're drafted here, do everything right, make plays when, whatever position it is, and the Bills will try to re-sign you if they can make it work. And listen, sometimes guys want the most money, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is a business in the end. Sometimes there's guys that, we were able to get some of these deals, they're like, hey, I'm happy here, I like it here, I'd rather, get a number I'm comfortable with than wait another year and test free agency.
Okay. Last question for me before the boys have a couple, if that's A-okay. Is Josh Allen not the perfect Buffalo Bill? And re-signing him to a big-time deal and letting him know that is the case feels like a good play, but could you ever imagine Josh Allen playing for another team? It feels like he is the perfect Buffalo Bill, and I assume the entire city and the entire Bills Mafia has sang your praises for getting this done for Josh.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, from the day we drafted him, we talked about it like this guy, obviously people had questions about his talent level and boom or bust type prospect. But as I told him at my opening press conference, Pat, like when you get to meet this young man, he is Buffalo through and through. He's a lunch pail, grew up on a farm. He's just your kind of guy. He treats. I mean, I don't know if you saw at the honors. He's referencing various people in the building, and Slick Rick, our mailman, just all the people that he comes across. And for a guy of the MVP caliber to give praise to not just teammates or coaches, but to some of our staff. I mean, it blew Slick Rick away. He ended up getting a car, out of the whole thing. It was a cool deal what one of the local dealerships did. But that's who Josh is through and through. He truly knows, the lunch staff. Again, Slick Rick, all the people in the building. He's not too big for anyone, and that's what Buffalo is. It's the that's what this city is, the city of good neighbors. And so Josh is that through and through.
That's awesome. I'm so thankful and happy to hear a wonderful story like that happening in the city of Buffalo. I traveled through Buffalo numerous times as a high schooler trying to get up to Canada.
Sure.
And spent a lot of time up in Canada.
That's right.
A lot of great Canadians up there.
Plenty.
Shout out to old Canada. My first reaction isn't to boo that, but the Buffalo City, the Buffalo people are a wonderful one. Happy you got your guy locked in. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Brendan, you mentioned the QB market kind of changing, and how important is it for you just to get the deal done before, that first big deal comes out? People have obviously mentioned Purdy being one of those guys that gets a bunch of money. Did you guys want to kind of get there before, any of the other quarterbacks get a huge deal just so you can reset the market instead of reacting to the market?
Sometimes you're definitely doing that at various positions, Connor. This time I would say we just wanted to kind of know how to structure this for our cap, what we needed to get under, by the league year this week. So that was more of our intention is let's see if we can get something done. And if we couldn't, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. We could have pushed it off, but we kind of wanted to know that way we can plan for the other deals that we've gotten done already and that we could potentially do this week or next week. So it was more just trying to get it in place, the structure that both sides could agree on before the start of the league year on Wednesday.
$650 million guaranteed is the most all time. Ownership has to put that money into a thing. How does that work? I don't know the exact ins and outs, but you're talking about, and I mean, there was a 25.2 guaranteed to Bernard, 54 million guaranteed to Russo. 1.625 average per year for the long snapper. Once again, hey, way to go, Reed.
Highest ever.
Way to go, Reed. Khalil Shakir, 32 million guaranteed. How does that work? Guarantee is like a very big commitment from ownership, right?
It is. Now, those are total guarantees. You don't have to fund the total guarantees. It's the hard guarantee, like the skill injury and cap. So, like Josh's real guarantee or his hard guarantee was 147, but he's got 250 total, which includes injury guarantees. You do not have to fund those. So whatever we don't pay him this year of his hard guarantee, we'll have to fund by next March 31st of that 147, not the 250.
And make sure you guys don't go broke. I heard about that stadium.
Uh-oh.
I heard about that stadium. Hey, heard about
We'll take donations for the stadium if you got anything.
No, whoa.
Uh-oh.
Last question here from D-Butt for you, Beane.
Yeah, Brandy just talked about all that money, $250 million guaranteed with Josh, and this has been a conversation in the past with franchise quarterbacks. How much input does Josh have when it comes to acquiring, I guess, more so free agent wide receivers that may be available, or even guys that are in the draft?
Yeah, I mean, Josh has earned that, and not that he's going to sit down and break it down, but sometimes he knows a guy, sometimes he's thrown, he goes out to California some and throws with various players. So if it's something like that he's got a connection or he knows someone there or he's met the player somewhere along the way, definitely ask him what he thinks about him. Has he thrown with him? Last year in the draft process, he did come in early and wanted to flip through with our offensive coaches, just some of the receivers, and just get his, how he would see him in the offense, compare it to the coaches. And so we did discuss it. Ultimately, he's not going to try and overstate it. He knows he's, it's a small little clip that he's paying attention to. But it's fun to have his involvement. He loves the draft. This guy does he does about 150 mocks a day, I think, and he'll text them to me, like not just offensive players. He'll tell me, hey man, I could, if you trade one, you can get this. I mean, some of it's just fantasy football, but he loves it. He literally moved one of our pro scouts off his computer last year and was like, hey, watch this mock, watch what I got for our team. So he's all into it, which is pretty cool.
You're talking about being invested. I don't know how many quarterbacks are doing 150 mock drafts every single year. Last question before we let you go. Can't thank you enough. Obviously, today kicks off the free agency frenzy at noon, although you have seemingly already spent. What does today look like for you, and what do the next few days look like for the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, I mean, you start these conversations around noon, reaching out. We kind of spread it out throughout our staff, scouts, and our cap guys, and so we've kind of, you spread out who's going to call these agents and check and see, do they see a mutual interest on their side of things, a mutual benefit. Obviously, you're going to discuss, like, where do you see his range? They may ask you where you see it, and you kind of, we meet at various times, or we shoot a text thread of, hey, this guy's going to get this, or we probably wouldn't be able to do that. And so you just kind of something, and sometimes those deals, like, you feel like, man, the player would love to come to Buffalo. You think that player is a great fit, and you quickly get on the money and say this works for both sides. And then, some will go into the night, into tomorrow, and they can drag out just trying to get to their market. They really want to see where it goes. So you never know. You could have a deal at 12:30, or you could be sitting here at 5 o'clock and still be looking for your first deal. So we'll just kind of play that by ear, starting at 12.
All right. Well, good luck out there. We appreciate you joining us. Congrats on all the deals, and I assume I'll echo Josh Allen's sentiments. You're so kind, man. Thank you for being so cool to us. We are very appreciative of that.
No, I appreciate it. Always good to be on with you guys, and look forward to next time soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a sandbagger on the golf course, but he's a hell of a general manager with sufficient amount of respect to everybody that he talks to, including old Boyko. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Beane. Hell yeah, Beane. Hell yeah, Beane. Thank you for joining us earlier, Brandon Beane, and congrats on that deal, not just with Josh Allen, but everybody that they re-signed this offseason. Understanding going forward, they're going to have to massage the cap a little bit. They're going to have to massage the cap. Boyko's their PR guy, and he has been sending insufficient respect lines over to Zito and to me since that report was happening. Talking about getting the program. Boyko, Beane, the entire Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
We appreciate the hell out of you up there. Legit.
Buffalo.
And congrats, everybody. Some things happened while we were running that conversation. A couple bags were dropped off at front doors. Let's start with the Bengals. They announced that B.J. Hill will be returning to the Cincinnati Bengals, striking a deal right before free agency, says Ian Rapoport. X might be back, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Let's go ahead and celebrate that on this particular news-breaking free agency frenzy Monday. 3 years, $33 million. Congrats to B.J. Hill. And then obviously right above that, Javon Kinlaw to the Commanders as the Commanders bring in Deebo Samuel on the offensive side. They bring in D-tackle Kinlaw, who's with the Jets most recently, to the Commanders. 3 years, $45 million deal, $30 million guaranteed. You can do this whenever you have a rookie quarterback, which is why it is so vital that you hit with your young QB. If you have a high draft pick, like in the top 5, and there's a chance to get a organizational changing quarterback that is at a cheaper price than one of these veterans will go for, and hopefully this quarterback will inevitably go for in about 3-4 years from now, you can strike while the salary cap iron is hot. You can pay, you can play, and you can win. And that is exactly what the Commanders have proven, not only over this past, the season, but in this offseason as well, D-Butch.
Yeah, we always talk about winning franchises. It starts from the top, and this ownership group, since coming in, they're hitting on all cylinders. They've been hitting in the draft. They brought in a bunch of free agents last year. Re-signed Bobby Wags. That was big. Traded for Lattimore. We'll see if he can pick it up and kind of hit his stride at the cornerback position. But then beefing it up in the trenches. These aren't the sexiest signings of the offseason, but typically these are the signings that get you over the hump. O-line, D-line.
Giants got no shot in that NFC.
They're
No, we are absolutely screwed. Reports are that free agents view the Giants as a bit of a sinking ship.
Oh, no.
So certainly going to have to try to pay a premium, but we don't have the luxury of having $122 million of cap space like the Patriots. Kinlaw there, $45 million. That's ties the top for a D tackle this offseason. B.J. Hill at 33 seems like a bit of a steal compared to some of these D tackles that we may have never heard of relative, name wise.
Classic Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Classic Cincinnati right there. I like that because remember Osa signed big money. Kinlaw signs big money. B.J. there, $33 million. Hey, come on. 33 money, life changer.
Great cash.
Great.
Now, granted, that's 3 years. There's one wide receiver getting $30 million in Pittsburgh now from Seattle and DK Metcalf. Then they also have George Pickens. Will he still be on the roster whenever the season comes? They got Freiermuth at tight end. They got a lot of old quarterbacks putting on their helmet thinking maybe I can still throw it over that mountain. Is this from this weekend?
Coach T, are you kidding me? DK Metcalf on one side, GP on the other, Muth work in the middle, and I might need to throw my hat in the ring. If you're looking for a guy, I might still have a couple throws in me.
Okay, joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champ, Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, man.
How are you, man?
How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing okay. How Yin's doing over there now that DK Metcalf is back? Obviously, we all saw that video from Footballin' with Ben. Incredible podcast. You and Spank do a great job. Can't wait to join you boys sometime soon, hopefully. But now that DK's there and George Pickens there and Pat Freiermuth's there, aside from you potentially coming back, this is a lethal offense almost overnight, it feels like, Ben.
You see the blue skies? That's because we got a crazy offense in Pittsburgh. We don't see these blue skies too often. But when we get wins and new signings like this, that the free agent market and the Steelers are making moves, it's a special day in Pittsburgh. I was blown away when I saw that news. And again, you hit it though, Pat, right when you said from the get-go, will George still be here? Like, that's going to be the interesting thing. Are they going to try and move him now, or are they going to be? We talked about on football, and guys have been talking about the Steelers need a number 2 receiver. Well, now they got 2 1s. I mean, is it going to stay that way, or what's going to happen? It's interesting. I don't know. Okay, so you've obviously been in locker rooms that have had a lot of personalities, we'll say, and a lot of talent. The triple Bs, the Bs, killer Bs. What you guys had was talent across the board. Running back, top 5 guy in league, top 4 guy in league. Wide receivers, even if you put in Martavis Bryant with how he was playing, top 5 guys. Antonio Brown, obviously top 5 guy. You, top 3, like top 5 guys. So whenever you talk about managing personalities, you've obviously had to do that in the past, pretty well documented. That's the big convo, right, with DK and GP is can that
exist? Can that coexist? Can that survive? What are your thoughts on that? Just outside looking in as somebody who's obviously been through maybe a similar situation in the past in the same building with the same coach.
Yeah, it can definitely happen. There's that little thing called a pigskin that's got to get in everybody's hands, though. There's going to be a lot of wanting the ball. I think it helps that you've got a pretty selfless guy in Pat Fryermuth, who's a team first guy. That'll help. But if you want to go out and sling that ball around, guys will be happy if they're getting their catches and they're getting wins. That cures a lot of belly aching is getting that ball around the guys.
Okay, so on that note, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have been talked about going to Pittsburgh. Aaron's name has gotten very prevalent in the conversation, maybe within like the last 24 hours, it feels like. Aaron may be going to Pittsburgh. Justin Fields may be going back to Pittsburgh. They'll also talk to Russ, depending upon the situation. How about Sam Darnold? Maybe he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, adding another weapon is certainly intriguing for a quarterback that maybe has a bit of a market. What are your thoughts on the quarterback situation, and what style of QB would you be going after if you're calling shots?
Right. Well, I think it's changed a little bit now. I guess, early on we were talking about, you have to make a decision. Are you building to the future? Or are you trying to win right now? And it seems like with this signing, it's like a right now type thing. You've got a defense that's not getting any younger. They're pretty good. You want to win for Cam and TJ and those guys. I think you got to get a guy that can get these guys the ball, and so I think that opens up the door to Aaron, to Russ. Obviously, Justin. I was told that they offered Justin a contract. Maybe I'm not sure. I think the ball was in his court last I heard. I have no idea. I think what it does do is it keeps you from going into the draft. Right. This doesn't feel like you want to grab a guy out of the draft to be the quarterback of this team, unless you're going to bring a Sam in. Is it Cousins? I don't know. Is Cousins under contract? Is he out there potentially available? I don't know what's
that's
going
a lot
on
of mixed messaging coming out of there. Some people think he's going to stay in Atlanta, but then $28 million with another $10 million coming, I think, in March. So there's a lot of...
That's too many numbers. That's too much going on.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
And so maybe it's Aaron for a year and you draft a guy. It just depends on what you want to do. I think that you got to really consider Russ. Everyone knows what Russ can do with the deep ball or the moon ball or the rainbow ball or whatever you call it now. You got two deep threats. I mean, you telling me that you throw that ball up to DK and GP and they're not going to want to go get that go ball. So there's a lot on the table. I think it just depends on what Coach T and the front office want to do.
Yeah, and obviously all these answers will probably come sooner than later with how they're trying to shape a team, build a team, and quarterback contracts. When you're talking about from Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins to everybody else's contract and Justin Fields, the amount of money that's going towards that is obviously a game changer for how you script the rest of the contract. So I'm excited to get these answers. You how do you feel? Have you?
Well, I was thinking about it. I put both my boys out here in 14 jerseys in the backyard. And I couldn't overthrow my one son, so I think I'm out. Unfortunately,
no.
I don't think I got it.
Oh no!
I know
that's not true.
Is it this? Is it this? What is it?
No, lower body.
Oh, really? Knees, ankles?
The drop. The drop. I wouldn't be avoiding people very easily.
But did you ever? I mean, that is. We've seen the bag drill. We've seen the bag drill, brother. Yeah.
Oh, the Bruce Gradkowski's favorite video of all time.
Yeah, it's not just him. I mean, when that hit the internet, it was a fantastic thing. AP Tone has a question for you, Big Ben.
Yeah, Seven. There was a lot of talk.
Of course he does.
Yeah,
What's up,
always.
buddy?
What's up, dude? There was a lot of talk this year about the offense and how Tomlin wanted to run the ball because he wanted to take care of the ball and he wanted to keep it reined in and play defense and just win games that way. Now with signing DK and you have GP, do you think? I mean, it's never happened in your career where the reins were tightened for you. You were allowed to do whatever you want, especially later in your career. Do you think whatever quarterback it is, things get a little bit looser this year?
Well, I think you should. I mean, when you got those guys outside and you're throwing the ball, I know there's still some questions with Naj. What's going to happen there? I like the way Warren runs the ball. Do you bring in another kind of 1-2 if it's not Naj? And I think that's going to be, if you've got a young quarterback, you're going the draft route, or if you've got a Fields who would be in his, I still consider him a younger guy in this league. I think that, the OC, Arthur Smith, maybe will have a little bit of rain pulling, but and obviously there's been reports in Pittsburgh that he did that last year with Russ. Obviously, I'm not in the building. I don't know how much rain pulling there was, but listen, if Aaron Rodgers comes in, who can tell him to pull back on the reins? You're gonna tell him go, let it fly, throw the ball around. And I think if Russ comes back, or if you got a veteran like Sam that comes in here, let it go. Just let it fly. Who cares about ball control and running it?
Let it go. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let it fly. Just let it go.
Yeah, you already know. You got to let it go. I mean, that is exciting ball. Speaking of that, D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, speaking of Artie Smith's defense, offense, with GP and Metcalf. Number one, who do you think is going to be playing the X? And then how, if you were the OC, how would you move these guys around in that offense, attacking defenses?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as familiar with watching DK in terms of can he move around in different spots. I saw as much as I've seen, I guess, GP do some slot stuff. I'd love to see GP go into the slot a little bit. I'd love to let him do some things in there. I'm sure DK can, he can go wherever you want, but I would probably keep GP at the X and put DK at the Z, put him out there to the trip side. That's just my initial thought without really getting into it. But I think that's what's so much fun if you can get guys that are predominantly outside kind of go ball receivers and put them in the slot and create those matchups, because we know that nickel DBs and stuff they don't want to necessarily guard those guys. You go cover two man, and now the safeties are splitting, and you got DK or GP in the middle running the go route down the middle of the field.
Nightmare.
That forces some scary type stuff,
That was literally what Bill Belichick and Randy Moss talked about whenever he got traded to New England. Bill Belichick tells a story about him and Randy talking ball, and Randy's like, "You're never going to see that coverage or whatever against me." And then Bill's like, "Well, wait, we can get a little creative here. We can put you in the slot. What are they going to do?" And Randy, I guess, scored 15 touchdowns, 20 touchdowns.
You want that. Give me that. Put that guy in there. You talk about Martavis Bryant. You talk about Antonio Brown and Chase Claypool. Put them in the middle of the field and let them run down the middle on slots. Absolutely.
Speaking of slot, nickel corner, Jordan Lewis of the Jaguars has become the NFL's highest paid nickel as of 10 minutes ago. So congrats to him getting a deal. The Patriots are signing Bob Spillane, the dump truck.
Yeah. Love him.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Hey, you were teammates with him whenever he had the Derrick Henry collision, right?
Another Mac guy. I think Western Michigan, maybe.
The dump truck, Bob Spillane, massive neck, heavy hitter. You're talking Thumptown, USA.
That's awesome.
Goes to the New England Patriots. New England Patriots have $122 million to spend. And then the Rams are bringing in Jimmy Garoppolo to play backup to Matthew Stafford. Congrats to him getting a gig with the Rams. You just talked about putting DK maybe into slot, have him run a go, or GP. Go ahead.
Jordan Lewis, highest paid nickel now. So now we got a highest paid corner, highest paid nickel. Played for the Cowboys last few years, was a dog in there. So now going to Jacksonville, big signing for them.
Congrats to Jordan. Look at the nickel, because that's going to become that's the base coverage basically.
Nickels are starters. And I mean, you got, and we're already talking about the difference of the top high-end cornerbacks and the top high-end receivers because of what Ben was talking about, because of what I was talking about earlier. The top guys being Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase of the world, being able to go from X to Z to the slot and cause all these nightmare matchups for defenses.
Okay, so I don't want to disrespect our audience by saying this, but the nickel corner, whenever we talk about secondary, normally 4, right? Then you take out a linebacker, add another corner into the box to add some speed. That is the nickel corner. How long has this been around, and who's the greatest nickel of all time? Does that exist?
That's a tough question. The best guy to ever play in there was Charles Woodson, in my opinion, just because how he impacted the game coverage-wise, blitz-wise, attacking the football. So I would probably put C. Wood as the top guy who's playing the slot.
How about you, Big Ben? AFC North, a lot of nickel corners?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that's the key to having that guy is he's got to be able to cover. But when you get a really good blitzer, a guy that and he was on our team for a little bit. I know this is just who kind of popped into my head right away because he's still, I believe, still playing. Was Mike Hilton? Mike Hilton was a great blitzer. You kind of cover a guy, but you got to be able to get in there and not be afraid to run stop. You got to stick your nose in there sometimes. And the guy that nickel corner has to be fearless. I'm just putting it out there right now. He's got to be fearless.
Yeah, we had a guy that would say he had a stinger when his lifeless body was laying on the field and then jog off. And now he does TV.
That may be too much.
TV. It's great to have him. All right, let's get back to the Steelers here with Big Ben Roethlisberger. Connor has the last question for you.
Yeah, Ben, big convo with the Steelers right now. TJ Watt, when you were, negotiating a new deal, how did that go with the front office and everything? And obviously Myles Garrett just got a massive deal. Would you bring kind of the other deals?
Fuck! X is down again. X is down. Sorry, Ben. It's a bad day for that. Go ahead.
Gosh darn it. But would you bring other deals that you saw around the league to the front office? Like, hey, this is what these guys are getting, and do you think TJ's doing that?
He should. I think it's funny. I was talking to James Harrison this morning. We were laughing about Myles Garrett. Like, he wanted nothing to do with Cleveland. He wanted to win a Super Bowl. He wanted out of there. I don't want nothing to. Oh wait, how much? Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. No problem. Yep, I'm here. I love this place. Don't want to leave. Never wanted to leave. But yeah, I mean, you got to decide what you want to do. I mean, TJ's a stud, and I mean, I know. I'm not sure who his agent is, but I'm sure. I know his brother does a lot. Obviously. On this show and whatnot.
Why? You're saying publicly negotiating?
Everybody knows what that dude brings to the table.
Yeah, TJ, the record with TJ playing versus the record without TJ playing, let alone the introductions of the defense without TJ coming out. I mean, it's just like a whole game changer. He's a Yinzer hero and forever will be.
For sure.
And hopefully they get a deal done. Khan's got a lot on his plate right now.
So.
We need a quarterback. We got TJ. We got these stupid Browns are doing Brown stuff.
Yeah. George is pissed.
George is not pissed.
Maybe pending.
We don't know if he posted something.
Is that news? I'm not on the media on the whatever.
Well, X is down anyway.
It's cool.
X is down anyway, so he wouldn't know.
It's an assumption.
Why would he be pissed? I mean, 33 a year?
Yeah, but DK's knocking at his door like, hey, take that jersey off, bitch. I'm 14.
No, he's not. They'll be able to figure that out.
That's gonna be interesting. What happens there?
They fight.
Everybody doesn't mind a little bit of a number change. More money.
Run a 40?
More money from the jersey sales. Oh, you think they should race? Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I mean, what about a mini combine for it? Like a little jugs machine, run, jump vertical, like just a whole little thing. Winner gets it all.
George is a beast. Okay, I'm not saying that with love. George, if you don't want to be there, say you come to Indianapolis, buddy. Okay, you'll be so. No, actually, you should go somewhere else.
Yeah, plus
I don't know. I don't know if we're
Who's
the right
quarterback in there? You still have AR or is Flacco? Where's Flacco? Where's Joe?
Joe will show up.
We want Joe.
We know Joe will show. Mm-hmm. We know Joe will show. Maybe your quarterback out here, Ben. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks. Hope I see you guys soon.
You got it, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Roethlisberger. Him breaking down the nickel as you were talking. I asked you the question of who's the best nickel of all time. He's on this back wall here, and you see his head start going, oh.
Yeah, because you probably got to look at the last probably 20, 25 years. Winfield was one of those guys. Barber. You got great Chris Harris.
Throw Chung in there?
Chung was like a dime kind of safety. He would go in there. He'd be like a big nickel. Tyrann Mathieu when he played in there. McDuffie's doing it now. Kenny Moore's obviously been doing it for a while. So it's a tough position. But guys, Jalen Ramsey. When he's his best.
Sticking his head in there.
Dog. Lewis is a dog. Shit talker. Good ball player. I'm glad he reset the market at nickel position. Haven't seen the deal yet, but I'm happy for him.
Yeah, got to be a dog at nickel. Just have to be. That is just a requirement of the position.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're just going to get your ass run over. I mean, that's how it goes. And you're normally going to be undersized. So you got to be able to fight through that. Congrats to him. Congrats to everybody that's getting paid. Hour one wrapping up here on this free agency frenzy. Overreaction Monday. We'll see you on the other side.
Belle Sessions, who got here at 3 a.m. this morning, was the winner. Her ticket was pulled, and you thought to yourself immediately, what, Belle?
I knew I couldn't do it, and he was next to me, and he said that he could. So we're splitting it.
Okay, so Belle Sessions made the decision to talk to my man, Henry Silver, Henry got here yesterday at 6 p.m. He's been waiting for this moment. Now, Henry, you told her that you could make it. Why do you think that's the case? Have you ever kicked a ball before?
I've kicked a ball before. I've played soccer my whole life. I think I can do it.
This This kick is for $150,000. You said you would split it in half, right? Okay, so let's make it $200,000. If you make it, you will both get $100,000. Where are you from, Henry?
I'm from Fishers, Indiana.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
The Colts?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Come on, bro. Hell yeah. To hell with the Falcons. That was rude. They didn't deserve that. I like that. Henry, 33 yards, $100,000 for you, $100,000 for her, $200,000 to hurricane relief, $400,000 on the line. Henry, are you ready?
Of course.
Have you ever said anything bad about kickers?
Of course.
Shut up. Let's go. Now, here in Athens, Georgia, it would be beautiful if $400,000 would be up for grabs. Why don't we double it because the Georgia Bulldogs. So, $800,000 kick right here, Henry. But what I want to let you know is you're not getting a second opportunity. I don't care if this entire place starts chanting for a second kick. One kick, 800,000 racks, 400,000 to hurricane relief, 400,000 to you two split, 200 grand each. Henry Silver from Indiana for Bell Sessions. Let's go, Henry! Oh my! Henry! Henry! Come in, buddy! Come in! Let me see this. Let me see this, Henry. That was amazing. I mean, he walked in like, Henry! Congratulations, Henry! Congratulations, Bell! Dude! Congratulations, Georgia! What a morning! College game day's the greatest! College football's amazing! Bell, you just won $200,000. You're a genius. I'll tell you what, after...
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this massive overreaction free agency frenzy, Monday, March 10th, 2025. Hour 2 starts now. Football! Overreaction free agency frenzy Monday, March 10th, is one that might change the course of an organization in the NFL forever. We've already seen a shit ton of money kind of shelled out through different positions. We got corners getting paid. We got offensive linemen getting paid. We got D linemen getting paid. Obviously, we have pass rushers getting paid, quarterbacks getting paid, wide receivers getting paid. Who's next? We shall hopefully be able to keep you updated as long as the people that are able to give us news are able to give us news due to the fact that the platforms that deliver the news are crashing every other 10 minutes. The Talks Table's here. What a glorious day. At Boston Connor and Bruce Brown sitting in for Ty, T's and P's to Ty. We shall see you soon, pal. Bob Spillane, the first signing of the New England Patriots. Obviously, they signed Harold Landry III to get to the quarterback. Now they're signing Bob Spillane, linebacker from the MAC, to change the culture up in there. Congratulations to you guys. Most amount of money in the salary cap. First big signing here on Free Agency Frenzy Monday is a culture changer, a tone setter. Is that how you're viewing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Love Bob Spillane. Very excited about him being a New England Patriot. Now, if this is all the Patriots do today, there's a chance I don't make it to work tomorrow because my car's wrapped around a pole. But right now in the moment, I'm pumped about Bob Spillane. 158 tackles, 2 picks last year. We've heard from Max Crosby about this guy. If you're going to be in a foxhole, if you're going to go to war with a guy, who's Max Crosby picking? The guy that plays every single down? Bobby Spillane. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about the biggest neck in the NFL coming to New England. There are some other places, that of course they need positions filled, but absolutely Spillane's one of them. And hey, Josh Allen, is that $250 million guarantee going to be fun when Bubby Spillane's helmet's in your jaw?
Hope it was worth it.
Yeah, hope you enjoy Spillane's soup because that's all you're going to be able to drink when your jaw's broken, brother. I'm pumped. I think a lot of New England will be. But again, if they don't make another move,
a lot of money. A lot of money. Opportunity and compensation is what the New England Patriots have. Still big names available, but there has been a lot of big names already taken off the board. Bruce Brown, yesterday was a massive day for free agency. A lot of money went out the door, and a lot of big players were signed before the noon kickoff here.
Yep, obviously it opened with Myles Garrett getting that 204.8 with $123.5 million guaranteed. Josh Allen obviously at the 250 guaranteed, 330 total. In there, too, that we didn't hit on in the first hour, Nick Bolton re-signed with the Chiefs. He's back with the back-to-backs. Harold Landry, like you just mentioned, goes to New England, teaming back up with Vrabel, Ernest Jones, and Jaron Reed in Seattle there. Trey Smith signed his franchise tag. Aaron Jones back in Minnesota, 2 years, $20 million. And then, Zach Ertz and Austin Hooper in New England kind of rounded out. In total, over $1 billion in total money and $727 total guaranteed.
And that was just yesterday. Today has already delivered. Like, there is a new bag being delivered. Wow. Super Bowl champion out of Louisiana Tech. Milton Williams is signing with the Carolina Panthers. Congratulations to him. That was a player that I think a lot of people were hoping for to join them, obviously building through the trenches. The Carolina Panthers had a lot of upside in the end of last season. Everything seemed to start hitting. Offensive line started playing good. Bryce Young started playing good. Old buddy who has a sweet Carolina accent. Xavier Legette kept rolling in there. Defense started humming. I mean, it's like the Carolina Panthers are no longer the laughingstock that they were a year, 2 years ago. They are now a team that's legit. You bring in a Super Bowl champ, you kind of up the trenches a little bit. That's always a good move.
Yeah, the expectation was he was going to get 20 to 25 million a year. So he was the top D tackle on the market. A lot of people had him, in their top 2 as far as free agents available. 2 sacks in the Super Bowl. He came like his highlights last year, like Milton Williams, we didn't hear about him because of all the other guys on the defense, but he's a dog.
Absolutely.
Well, and just look at, what maybe not the Eagles specifically have done, but them winning. Like, the names we're seeing today right off the bat are D linemen and O linemen. I mean, there's been some guys, Howie, some guys re-signed like Godwin, of course, but BJ Hill, Kinlaw, now Milton Williams. I mean, Drew Dalman was, kind of the premier center. Ronnie Stanley already re-signed with the Ravens, too, this weekend. He was the biggest left tackle, and then the Chiefs bringing in the Niners tackle. Like, right now, the trenches are kind of dominating.
Yeah, and this was the trend last year, too, I think. I think maybe the NFL was starting to see that a little bit. If you win, there's enough to go around. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. To stick with that trend of in the trenches, there is another massive bag that has been distributed. Former Steelers left tackle Jaylon Moore has signed with the Tennessee Titans on an $82 million deal, 4 years, with $50 million guaranteed. The deal includes $30 million in year 1 and $50 million in the first 2 years. Damn. Jeff Nally and Graylin Crane of CAA negotiated a contract with Titans president of football operations, Chad Brinker. Just to make sure we get all the names out here that are part of this deal. Shout out to Chad doing his thing. The Titans now have a new left tackle to protect the blind side of whoever is playing their quarterback. Remember, they have the number 1 overall pick, so getting a tackle, you would assume they're going to have to get a new quarterback. Will Levis, obviously hilarious and has upside. I don't think he has proven to be a franchise starter, but maybe. I'm not 100% sure. They bring in a guy that I've never heard of. Let's go to one half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys AP Tone. Dan Moore, part of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's getting $82 million. I assume this guy is a beast.
Yeah, he was our starting left tackle for the last 4 years.
That a baby, Dan.
He was public enemy number 1 a lot of the time in Pittsburgh.
What?
Now, Jeez. He was a 4th-round pick out of Texas A&M. He had to start in his first year. He started all 4 years with the Steelers. A lot of people, change of scenery could be good for him.
Jeez. Absolutely. Congratulations. By far. $50 million guaranteed. $50 million guaranteed. He's got to have some sort of upside. Maybe it was Pittsburgh. Maybe it wasn't Dan Moore. That's what Chad Brinker is assuming in this entirety.
Yeah, and there's some pretty good offensive line coaches in Tennessee, and the offensive line coaches in Pittsburgh have been scrutinized a ton lately. So, Dan Moore, he's definitely got the potential. He's very athletic, so we'll see how he does down there in Tennessee.
Yeah, we have to give a lot of credit to Coach Callahan, offensive line coach for the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, his son is the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Great coach, notoriously heralded as great offensive line coach. So maybe he sees Dan Moore as a project that he can make into an elite left tackle. And if it's only $50 million, you get a guy for. That's actually a steal at the left tackle position.
That's a lot of money, a lot of cheese. $50
left
million
tackle, though. Left tackle.
It said $50 million the first 2 years, right?
Guaranteed. That's it. $50 million guaranteed.
That's a big deal. $25 a year, even in today's salary cap world. So I know he's public enemy number 1 in Pittsburgh, but who hasn't been in Pittsburgh over the last however many years? So you're going up there, you got to shore up the O-line. Once again, not the sexiest of signings, but when you draft a quarterback, which I anticipate the Titans will do, probably Cam Ward, Shador at the top of the draft, you want to protect, because that's the first thing we look at the quarterbacks that succeed or fail early on in their career. Can they be protected to at least go through their reads and get better as the year goes on?
Yeah, and it feels like there's not many of those guys out there that actually make it to free agency. Like Tony said, the guy started 4 years at left tackle. Usually those guys are either getting re-signed, getting massive deals. This is a massive deal for them. And we also need to think about these guarantees going forward. We talked about, contracts way back in the day where they're just reporting the biggest number. Now that we know like Josh Allen's real, guarantees, what was it?
147.
147, but it's reported 250. So we should also kind of revisit that entire conversation when it comes to the money being talked about.
We have information on the biggest nickel corner deal in the history of the NFL for Mr. Jordan Lewis. It is 3 years, $30 million, $20 million fully guaranteed, and $12.5 million this year in a deal done by David Cantor and Nes Mograbi of Superstar Sports, right? Or Sports Superstars.
Is that the one?
Aura?
Superstar.
Whatever they were. Great deal. $20 million fully guaranteed for a nickel. Gotta love that, D-Butch.
Yeah, like I said, great deal. I love when nickels get paid, but I could be wrong. I thought Kenny Moore got 3 for 33.
And I also thought Taron Johnson did.
Yeah, so this is not the highest in the. I don't.
We're still talking to Rap Sheet today, so I got questions if we get him on.
We will be talking to Rap Sheet in about 10 minutes, I do believe. So hopefully he'll be able to.
A great deal.
Give us some info. Go ahead, Bruce.
Just back to the tackles. It's crazy just the impact of age. Ronnie Stanley got $60 million, $44 million guaranteed, and Dan Moore obviously beats that. I do believe with Jaylon Moore and Dan Moore gone now, we're running low on projected starter tackles. So probably 1 or 2 more here today, maybe George Fant.
Massive signing from the Lions to the bag being dropped by the New England Patriots.
All right.
Okay.
Carlton Davis gets a 3-year, $60 million deal. $34.5 million fully guaranteed. Congrats to the New England Patriots getting a big-time deal. And to Carlton Davis. D-Butch, what was the reaction for there?
Number one, the Patriots, spending some of that money, excited about that. And once again, a DB. I like great competitor, went for 1 year, got banged up in Detroit, so couldn't finish the year how he wanted to. But he plays great. He's a great player. He competes. He'll line up against number ones and go at it. He did his thing in Tampa Bay, went on to Detroit, did his thing. I think it's a really good signing for Brady.
Yeah. Bob Spillane. Now you bring somebody in from MCDC's culture.
Gonzo on the other side.
You can see what Braves is doing here.
Well, exactly, and you just said it. Like, he'll line up against number ones and go at him. Christian Gonzalez follows. There's not many guys in the NFL that follow, and Christian Gonzalez is one of those corners. So the fact that we're getting a guy that's used to guarding number ones, guess what? You're not guarding number ones anymore, okay? You get to go get the number twos, probably get a little help over the top because of how good, Christian Gonzalez is. So this is awesome. You get someone for the other side, especially with a lot of the secondary already kind of locked in. They got Duggar back there and now Spillane. The New England defense kind of taking form a little bit here, boys. Look out for Vrabel.
Yeah, sounds like you guys are spending some cash. That Carlton Davis deal done by Mulgeta. So,
boom.
Shout out to Mulgeta. Trevon Smith of Athletes First. Okay, so now some money's leaving New England. We will keep an eye on that. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who has a... No, he doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
Hey. AJ, sorry, I forgot you were sitting 100% on me. 100% on me.
Oh, you're good. Oh, it's all good. I know Puka is on tap, correct?
Okay, he will be, certainly. I will get to that. Thank you so much.
Throwback.
We're going back 3-4 years of the program. I do appreciate that, AJ. A nice throwback Monday. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams, who will now be in the same wide receiver room as Davante Adams. What are his thoughts? Ladies and gentlemen, the coolest oos of all time, great bowler, we think.
Maybe.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah, Puka.
How you doing, Puka?
There's no way the intro said great bowler, maybe, with the question mark.
We don't know. You sent us a video, but it never hey, I got this. Because there was a 175 up there. I think I saw a 217. What did you get?
I mean, we can just leave that up to speculation. I wasn't the 300. I can say that. I thought the first game I bowled a 168. It was the first time I picked up the bowling ball in a while, but I thought 168 was a good score. You're about to give me the easiest with the 140. I could have bowled with my left hand and hit 140.
Okay, so you rolled one game. You rolled a 168.
The second game, we were bowling with a bunch of different people. All the people in there were pressing me because they were like, "Man, you actually bowled 240," and everybody had their gloves on. They had their spare balls out. They brought their spare. I was like, man. I wasn't really that prepared, but the next game I bowled a 183, so I thought I was there. I hit the benchmark, that's for sure.
168 to 183. I think we paid everybody out thinking you had a 217. Nonetheless, 183 is a good round.
I like that. I appreciate you, Big Goose.
Yeah, well, I don't love it because it feels like you didn't hit the number that we were hoping for.
What was the over-under?
I think it was 175 or something like that. So maybe.
No, it was 175, so I hit it.
Yeah, but we gave you 217. That was quite a, that was quite a.
I mean, whether it's 217 or 183, I mean, the benchmark was 175.
Agreed, but the way you were talking was, I'm going 260 on, I'm going two-handed. Wonder from down under on these. Nonetheless, we're proud of you. 183 is very good. Let's talk about Davante Adams getting added to your wide receiver room. Do you know him? Have you talked to him? And what was your thoughts immediately upon learning about it?
Man, I thought that was pretty sweet. I grew up a fan of him and Aaron Rodgers, so being able to watch him and be like, man, I'm gonna be lined up next to him is gonna be it's still kind of surreal. I was connected with him over text. I think he's out of the country right now. I'm trying to get on the world tour with him, but I think it'll be sweet. We'll see when he gets out here. I know he's a basketball player too, so I gotta see what his jump shot looks like.
Allegedly in Japan, Sean McVay was staying up after hours. They're 13 hours ahead, I do believe, which I don't know how that timing works and how the world works, but it got done, and now McVay has weapons galore still. Cooper Kupp, big question mark, and obviously you've paid tribute to Cooper Kupp, as has Sean McVay. Who knows where he ends up at, but we have heard about your working out with him. AP Tone has a question for you, Puka.
Yeah, Puka, working out with him and Big Wit. We heard that you're just puking all the time. Are you not in shape? What's going on? What's going on?
No, I would say there's a couple workouts. Coop's very confident on like the Tuesday workout that anybody who shows up on Tuesday workout, they're going to throw up before the workout's over. So I like to hold that standard very true for our workouts. But I think they're really good. I'm getting in shape. That's the thing. It's the off season. I'm trying to rebuild. I'm trying to rebuild this tank that I got going on over here. I'm like so I'm excited. It's been good. Coop keeps you on your toes for sure, though.
I've heard he's got an 8-pack. They're saying he's absolutely shredded over there at the Village. AJ has a question for you, Puka.
Yeah, you said you grew up a fan of Davante Adams. What's it like when you obviously playing with Cooper Kupp? We see what you guys can do together, but when you think of you and Davante together, what kind of matchup situation do you think you can put defenses in over and over again? Obviously, Matthew Stafford throwing you guys the ball, like it feels like the future is wide open for your offense.
Yeah, I think 100%, and something that we got to play against the Jets and see what number 17 looks like when he's out there on the football field and the matchups that he causes. And I think his ability to dissect the defense under 10 yards and his ability to get vertical right after. I think, man, when we saw him play, like, man, he's just catching and getting loose. He looked like somebody who feels like he's 23 too. He's moving out there the way he moves, and then especially when everybody's got a pair of Jordans on, I'm like, man, the defense is gonna like, which one do we follow? Do we follow the guy wearing the 11s? Do we follow the guy wearing the ones? You'll be like, you got to pick your matchup and hope for the best.
The amount of J's and talent across the board and moxie and swag, he's certainly, I can't wait to watch what you guys do over there. But you mentioned it in there, number 17. D-Bud has a question for you, Puka.
Yeah, that's going to be nasty. But have negotiations started for that 17 jersey? I did some research, some journalism. Saw you wore 12 in high school, 12 at BYU. I also saw your Taco Bell tweet is going to be as easy as giving you lifetime Taco Bell from Devontae. Have negotiations started between you and Devontae?
No, not yet. The text I sent him was like, man, I've only seen a couple clips of your basketball tape, but I think we might have to play a couple games of Pig. I think I seen the Taco Bell commercial in the house. I'm like, I'm working. I got to add things into this negotiation. It's not going to be easy. I'm like, I guess I have the upper hand now. I'm in LA. I was in LA first. I was like, obviously I didn't wear 17 first. He's been doing it for a while, but in this blue and yellow uniform, like I've been the one wearing 17. So hopefully I'll be a good negotiator, and we'll see. Maybe I'll have to call Big Goose to see what we can get done.
Yeah, listen, definitely give me a call. We can work angles. Everybody can be happy. Everybody can be happy. We can make this easy. Congrats to you. Good luck the rest of the way, and thank you for taking the call.
Yeah, when are you guys coming to work out over here at the Village? You looking a little swole. I see you with the glasses. Were you getting the Meta Ray-Bans, or what's going on?
Now,
here?
have you been recording this entire thing?
I mean, just for safekeepings, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Puka Nacua.
Hey, Puka.
I'll never forget when he was at Radio Row and he had those on. I go, oh, you got the things? He goes, yeah. I go, you've been recording this entire thing? He goes, no. And then he goes, hey, Meta, start recording. And then like flickered
the light,
on.
Yeah.
And then you literally saw it start. He goes, now I'm recording.
Yeah.
He
posted it on his Instagram too. It was hilarious.
What a special individual to have in a locker room. Okay. I don't know, just from the way we kind of interact with him and the way we see people interact with him and how he interacts, it's like, I don't think he's ever met a stranger, and I don't think there's ever been a human that doesn't like him. That is a huge deal in the locker room, especially with how long the season is. Not that Devontae would ever need that or anybody would ever need that, but what an asset to the Rams that guy's energy and spirit is. Legit. Mana, I guess, is what his mana is.
Think of the receiver room. Think of the receiver room when you have Puka in there and how, like, egos and everything that goes involved with a receiver room where everybody is the guy and everyone's the alpha, everyone wants it. Like, he has that nice mixture of being like ultra competitive. He's an absolute monster on the field, but yeah, he's a dude that seems like he's definitely never had a bad day. I don't think, at least outwardly, he feels like he's always like juiced for whatever's next.
Well, and he's so good, Puka, that you assume there's only a few guys that could come in and like tell him like, hey, you need to be doing this. Obviously, Cooper Kupp was one of those guys, but Devontae's one of those guys. Like, he grew up a fan of Devontae and Aaron, he just mentioned, but also just because Devontae's been doing it for so long, you assume Puka's like, okay, now you tell me all this new information that I wasn't privy to from you, and I'm sure that's just going to make him even better.
Being able to learn from Cooper Kupp and then being able to learn from Devontae Adams, and Puka will do that.
Oh, yes.
And Matt Stafford, Sean McVay. Like, I mean,
come on, Puka. Hey, he's the right guy.
Absolutely.
The right guy for it. He talks about hooping. Like, I love that he puts such an emphasis on it during his training. He's like, need to hoop.
It's important.
Like, that's a big deal, especially at wide receiver position.
Hoop is important. The best wide receivers, the best DBs I've been around, I'm sure there are some, outliers, but they are all good hoopers. Like Trevon Williams is the one, Green Bay, great hooper. Joe Hayden, Darrell Reeves.
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean, phenomenal hooper. Like Puka, obviously a great hooper. Devontae, like a lot of these guys, like nasty on the basketball court, and a lot of it translates to the football.
We should say to you too. D-But's a hooper.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that came up on
the other day.
Yeah, Friday or Thursday.
Yeah, so, remember Dude Perfect? We talked about Dude Perfect. Somebody, I don't know if it was on show or off show. Somebody, I think it was on show.
It was on show.
Said if you were to do like a decathlon against the Dude Perfect guys, how would you fare? And we started listing off sports, and I think they would get us into cardio events. If there was cardio events, I think they would definitely get us. Also,
we got Top. Getting Top.
Well, you're right. I didn't even think about talk.
Hold the phone.
Competing.
We might win.
We got a treadmill clapper. Yeah, we got a treadmill.
Phil, refilling?
Yeah, you're right. Phil's been running for hold the phone. We might have a better shot than we thought. But in basketball, because they have a court, we have a court. I think, obviously, they probably have a bit more practice talent. I would assume they have. But on the defensive side, we would lock down. And then on the offensive side, Evan Fox said, we're doing what we're doing, and then we're getting the ball to Darius Butler.
Yep. Everyone just be ready.
Everybody just put hands like that.
Get ready to shoot.
But
I like our chance. No smoke and mirrors, no gimmicks. I like our chance.
I mean, also, the thing that I like about our chances is if we bring an AQ as well. We got AJ and AQ underneath.
Oh, my gosh.
And then if I'm up in the front, we're not getting up any points easy.
No.
There is no points coming. And I think we're pretty, other than the tall one. There's the tall one, right?
Pretty tall.
They're a great group of dudes, by the way. Got a chance to hang out with them down at Texas A&M. Good dudes and that thing. But I think we have them outsized pretty good.
I like it.
So I think in basketball, people would think they would get us. But
D-Butts took a shot at them, so they might hold that against us.
That's fine.
All right.
Smoke and mirrors, huh? What do you mean? All those shots are first try.
Oh, well, they never admit that. Let's get... Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, he's senior insider for the NFL at the NFL Network. Friend of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, what a return for Rap Sheet.
Wow. What up, guys?
How you doing, brother?
This is the weirdest free agency frenzy day in the history of the world.
Okay, why?
Twitter isn't working.
Yeah.
It's not working, Pat. And so to get the news... Here, let me explain what's happening. You got to go on TV. We're on TV.
Yes.
So you got to watch that. But I have a third party, one of my good friends who works with me, Shahab, I send him tweets, and for some reason his Twitter is working, the only one on earth. So he has been sending tweets via me to the interwebs, which is the only way to get news out and TV.
Okay, on a massive news day for the biggest league on earth, to have the news platform not working is certainly not ideal. Okay, but we've all been adjusting because we've been seeing. I didn't know it was Sharab's Twitter account that was able to do. What's that? Shahab, sorry, I saw Shahab's Twitter account working. We've been getting your notifications. So we've actually been screenshotting your Twitter notifications on our phones to use as the breaking news. We can't open Twitter, but we've been getting your notifications for your tweets, which is then leading to us going, how the hell does Rap Sheet have the ability to post right now? We thought you were plugged in over there. Instead, it's Shahab that's locked in. We've been battling the elements as well, brother. I don't think there's a lot of people that obviously have mixed opinions about everything. Certainly Elon and everything happening in the world right now. And X is a platform in itself. So there's a lot of people going, oh, good, don't need it anyways. It's like, nah,
we do. We need it.
We need the news. That is the place. Other places, good luck. Hey, Blue Sky. Good luck out there.
Yeah,
okay,
go get it.
Threads, good luck out there where we've been checking today on Threads. Good luck out there. We need it. We appreciate it. But, to get everybody onto those, you got to get them off of one. And everybody that is a news person is on X, especially in the sports world. And without... So, hey, we appreciate you, dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodging your way to break some news through Shahab. But why else do you think it's weird? Do you think the signings have been weird? Has this been how you expected it to go? How would you classify this?
Well, I would say, look, first of all, we're all waiting on the quarterback dominoes, right? We're waiting on Sam, potentially, to Seattle, I would describe him. Darnold is the front runner there. Fields is choosing, it seems, between the Steelers and Jets. Waiting on news there, and then our good friend, yours and mine, Aaron Rodgers. Does he go to the Giants? Does he go to the Steelers? Sounds like nothing is done there. So we're waiting on those big dominoes, and a lot of times, those happen. One happens, then another, then another. You're seeing a lot of players that people have not heard of get enormous deals. Like the Dan Moore deal is enormous, and look. The cap has gone up, I think, $100 million since COVID. It's gone crazy, right? So I think that's helped. But free agency is good. I mean, jeez, look at that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that has helped players who not everyone has heard of get enormous deals. Free agency is a great time for players. Not everyone gets here, right? Some walk in extensions, some just don't get the bag, or as they say. Some of these guys today are getting huge, huge deals, and it is pretty cool to watch. Honestly.
Yeah, you talk about not getting the free agency. B.J. Hill over there, D tackle for the Bengals, signs a 3-year, $33 million deal. Yep. And then we saw Kinlaw sign a massive deal over. So what happens there? Is that just deals getting done in different fashions or different levels of?
Yeah, I think what happens a lot, Pat, is like teams right up until noon and then maybe a little after were working like crazy to re-sign their guys. So we saw basically all the good linebackers, right? I mean, I think pretty much all of them, and a lot of the really, really good defensive tackles, except for Milton Williams, signed back with their team. And teams were fighting like crazy to get their guys, and there's a lot of guys who took less money to stay. I mean, Chris Godwin, I know we're talking about defensive tackles, but Chris Godwin, from my understanding, left about $20 million on the table.
Holy shit. Everybody hates moving, Rap. Everybody hates moving. Moving is the worst.
I haven't moved in 12 years, and I don't want to ever move again. Now, again, if you say to me $20 million or move, I would say I could just hire someone to move for me. That's like a whole different conversation.
Overpay somebody? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, but
20? Yeah, make it $19 million. I'm paying $1 million to some moving company, and they are going to be very thankful that they are going to do everything for me.
I mean, yeah, and they do a great job. They wrap everything up. It's not like you don't share a truck like you used to do when I moved. It's like you get your own truck. Anyway, it's pretty cool. I mean, look, it's pretty cool to see for Chris Godwin. Left a lot of money on the table. I know New England was in that pretty heavy, but if you like where you are and they tug at the heartstrings and they do everything they can to get you to stay, a lot of times it's hard to say no. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
Human relationships, and if you have any breaking news or have to do anything, you can certainly jump off and post through Shahab's Twitter account.
Well, I think it might be working now.
Well, it's every 5 minutes, this thing. I can't take. It's almost worse that it's intermittently working because then you don't know if you need to waste time on there. So it's kind of getting us with a little jab, and then a hook. AJ has a question for you if you still have time.
I do.
Yeah, hey, Rap Sheet, going back to the quarterbacks, you said Sam Darnold most likely. Chances are that he signs with Seattle. I know you said it seems like when could that be done? Like, what's that look like? Is that going to be in the next hour or two? And then with Fields and Aaron, how do you think they fall in line?
Okay, I do think Sam should be pretty soon. I mean, look, it's actually a really interesting spot for an agent because I think everyone thinks Sam Darnold is going to the Seahawks. It's certainly not done. Nothing is done. But you know that they want him, and so it's like how high can you get them, right? I mean, it's actually just like a really fascinating negotiating situation. I would be surprised if it didn't get done. So I know that. And then I would say, as far as Fields go, my understanding this whole time is that the Steelers are working to get back Justin Fields, and that still may happen. Look, they traded for DK Metcalf. If you're Justin Fields, that's an attractive weapon, right? I mean, it's one of the best receivers in the NFL. But the Jets are a really interesting choice for him too. And I'm not sure where the money is. My guess is it's essentially close. So if Fields goes to the Jets, then for Rodgers, it's going to be Giants or Steelers. And then it's like, I could see pluses and minuses on both sides. And I don't get the sense anything is done. And Aaron, like, he's unbelievably thoughtful. So, like, I would like it done right now. He's not on my time frame, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah. So I think he's going to – and the Giants, from what I understand, have done a really nice job of being like, here's everything we want, here's what we got. Just do your thing and take your time and let us know when you're ready.
Okay, and is Aaron coming back to play? I guess that decision has already been made in Rap Sheet's mind. I have not heard that particular convo, but let's say he is coming back to play, which we all
say he is,
assume and hope, I think, everybody that is around him. I think AJ, I don't want to speak out of pocket, but I think all of us assume and hope that he's back playing. If he's at the Giants, excited to watch how it goes. If he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, holy shit. Yinzers are going to love this.
Do you think, hold on a sec. Hold on. So you think it'd be a bigger deal if he goes to, I was actually wondering about this. Do you think it's a bigger deal if he goes to Pittsburgh?
Definitely. I mean, New York Giants market is much bigger, I guess. Like even whenever Giants have terrible years, the amount of eyes on each game is more than, probably not actually. A local Pittsburgh game, I guess. National Pittsburgh Steelers games, though, move. They sell out every stadium. I think it is. I think everything's bigger if he goes to the Steelers, personally. Now, granted, go to the Giants. You got Malik Neighbors. Dayball's been there, done that in a long time. Doesn't have to move, which we've chatted about here multiple times. He's in New Jersey. But I think Pittsburgh Steelers is an interesting move for Aaron Rodgers, especially for a team that just acquired a $30 million a year wide receiver in DK Metcalf. If George Pickens is still there, that's That's quite a
yeah.
It's quite a tag
Yeah.
team.
That'd be
That's
great.
That's quite a tag team over there with Fryermuth running. Now, Tom Pelissero, your compadre, just tweeted, shout out to Twitter being back, the Texans are signing DB Trevon Smith to a 2-year deal worth up to $7.5 million. Another DB goes. Congratulations to the corners signing money and to the Texans making moves. Rap D-Butt, speaking of corner, has a question for you.
Yeah, actually, the guys who have to cover Jamar Chase, I know Duke Tobin came out a few weeks ago and said he was going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. And now since then, Myles Garrett got his deal. Does Jamar Chase get up to that $40 million mark?
You know, I think he probably does. And I don't get the sense that the Bengals are that far from it now. I mean, I know it's weird. Like, I understand the Bengals get criticized. People are like, why have they not gotten the deal done? It takes 2 to get the deal done, right? And if you're Jamar Chase, I think Bengals would like it done immediately, and they've offered really close to that. But if you're Jamar Chase, I mean, it sounds to me like he's like, I got time. There's no rush. I mean, they're not playing until September, which is, you know, I don't know, many months, some months away, however many months that is away. So I think Jamar Chase is waiting, and like, even though it's awesome to get deals immediately, if you wait, they just get higher. So like, I think you're right. I think Jamar Chase is in an unbelievable place. It's going to sting for the Bengals, but I really think they get it done, and I actually think they probably get both of these guys done.
Wow, I didn't expect to hear that about the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, Trey Hendrickson was allowed the right to go find a trade partner if he wanted to. Let's stay in the AFC North and Trey Hendrickson's world. Bruce Brown has a question for you, Rap.
Yeah, how do you think that Myles Garrett deal at $40 million a year immediately affects Trey Hendrickson, and then down the line a little bit more with TJ? Do you think that they're automatically going to bump up to that $40 million average a year, or could it be a little different where maybe they go bigger on the guarantee but a little less on the average?
Trey is an awesome player, NFL sack leader. I'm not sure he's in that $40 million category. My guess would be his starts with the 3. Well, plays on one side, isn't as much of a run player, I would say, as Myles Garrett, and TJ Watt gets a ton of sacks.
Yeah, sack king, bro. Sack king.
He is the sack king, the literal sack king. My guess is his number starts with a 3, which is awesome.
It is.
And then, you know, I would say TJ Watt is, to me, the more interesting one because the Steelers want to get it done. It is a priority. But again, like, if you wait, like, if you're TJ Watt, would you accept something that's less than Myles Garrett? Maybe you would. Maybe you accept a hometown something, but guys don't often do that.
Well, I kicked his agent out of the way the last deal, and he said, "Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law."
$25 million, not enough.
But at this point, if a team's willing to pay him $41, $42 million a year, that'd be tough not to even think about it a little bit if you're TJ Watt, right, Rap? Wouldn't that be tough to think about?
Yeah, I mean, look, I love TJ. I know, I love it. It's like, he's such a great player, so fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're TJ and, you know, you sort of know where it can come in, and I would say you also know where at a certain point it's enough where it might be too much for your team and you can't sign other players. So that's, for great players who care a lot about their team, it's really hard to kind of find that sweet spot of like, I need to get what I'm worth, and my worth is now X, you know, +5 where it was whatever before. It's a tough negotiation. He's got really good agents at CAA. I know they do a good job, but like, this is sort of the next thing is once you get through free agency, like, what will guys like TJ Watt make, and does he reset the market again?
Okay, we have some more breaking news. A bag has been delivered by the New England Patriots.
Hell yeah.
The Patriots have agreed to terms via Mike Garafolo, a veteran offensive tackle, Morgan Moses, on a 3-year, $24 million deal up to $28.5 million. Source says the Pats add an experienced, reliable veteran in front of Drake May, while Moses gets a raise in a multi-year deal at the age of 34. Con Man, first response.
Absolutely love it. If you listen to Aaron Rodgers at all last year, Morgan Moses, I believe, was one of his favorite teammates. I think all the signings, you're kind kind of seeing right now. You're getting a guy from Detroit in Carlton Davis who kind of understands a gritty, hardworking culture. Bobby Spillane speaks for himself. Guy is gritty, like I said earlier, Foxhole, and then Morgan Moses. The culture, it feels like, for the first 3 signings here is kind of taking form. I think this is massive for New England, and offensive line obviously is the number one thing with protecting, a Drake May.
And also Harold Landry.
Exactly. I'm not even thinking of
history.
Fantastic with Harold Landry too. Like, this is kind of a perfect start for New England free agency, just waiting on that, maybe wide receiver weapon type of prospect.
All right, Rap, what should we be looking at next? How many more deals are going to get done today, or are we already at the second wave potentially?
No. We got a lot of good players. Milton Williams is the big one I'm watching.
He signed, didn't he?
He already signed.
Wake up.
He has not signed.
Oh,
what?
Wait a minute.
Panthers.
Yeah.
He has not signed. There's a couple teams interested. You got the Panthers. You got the Cardinals. We'll see where that goes.
Hold on, didn't we?
I was like,
someone reported it.
Yeah. Oh, Shefty reported they're working a finalized deal with Milton Williams. So you're saying
not done yet? Not done yet.
Is it going to get done?
Source off!
Oh, shit.
Watch your back,
Could definitely get done. Anyway, so Milton Williams, there's a couple really good players still available, and then I would say quarterbacks is what we're watching. I got to run because I got to get back to nothing imminent, but I got to get back to the phones.
We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you on X, hopefully, ladies and gentlemen.
Hopefully, never know.
Ian Rapoport.
Yeah, Ratchet.
Wow, that little Milton Williams drop was interesting. I know.
Yeah, what is he? He doesn't think it's going to get done?
He said it hasn't been finalized, so maybe he's hearing from another team that they're trying to throw, a little bit of a Hail Mary. He said the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
We're involved there, and then we started celebrating in his face. We couldn't get the other team.
When's the last time that happened? Like, somebody got to the point where Shefty or Rapshi, one of these guys, breaks it, and then they back out.
Happened last year. I think this happens.
Didn't Randy Gregory sign with the?
Yes.
Didn't that entire thing happen where he did Cowboys and something got pulled and then he went to Denver?
Yeah. There's always, because there's multiple steps here, right? There's an agreement on terms. There's we'll work together, and then there's like does that get reported? Mm-hmm. Like, does somebody in the room send a text to an insider and say, hey, blah, 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 and blah, 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 have agreed to terms, And then is that reported as deal being done? And then all of a sudden, whenever you get into the actual contract, it's like, well, that's not going to work. The guarantees potentially, when the money's coming, what the offset language is, all that stuff. You can get really grimy in there, because there's a lot of money on the table. Those little asterisks can really change. Not saying that it will for Milton. We're just saying it has happened in the past where it has been reported that two people are going to go and dance, and then inevitably when the song plays, one side says, I ain't doing this, and they go somewhere else. Now, that helps the player immensely because they know exactly what they were going to get from somebody else. So if somebody else comes in, you could say, this is literally exactly what we're going to get. We need a little bit better. But it also helps the team out whenever it gets reported because everybody else might lose interest in recruiting said. So
the next guy, boom,
it's either good or bad depending upon how you look at it. But Milton being a Panther, I thought was a finalized. I guess it's getting finalized.
Okay.
Could end up not being finalized. There's another bag in Minnesota. The NFC North, A.J. Hawk, former Eagles corner. Isaiah Rodgers, now a Super Bowl champion, reached an agreement on a 2-year, $15 million contract with the Minnesota Vikings. The deal includes $8 million fully guaranteed. The deal was negotiated by Brian Gavin, seen his name a couple times here, and A. Wasilewski of EMG Sports. Wasilewski don't play no games when he's at the negotiating table. 2 years, $15 million for Isaiah Rodgers, $8 million guaranteed. I like to say, Isaiah, congratulations, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Way to bounce back.
Absolutely. Isaiah, I would assume in his own words, made some decisions that I assume he regrets and wouldn't do. He was a young lad, got punished for it, looked at himself, got better, bounced back, wins a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Now he gets $8 million guaranteed. I'm incredibly pumped for Isaiah Rodgers. That's how, you would hope a situation that he had would go. And he's a great ball player.
Oh, yeah.
The guy's all over the field and an absolute dog out there.
Yeah, we're young. Whenever you're young, you make dumb decisions, make mistakes, but it's about what you do after. And he bounced back. And in relief of Slay, when he went down for a few games, he played great for Philly last year. So I'm glad he got this opportunity, got some money. And I would anticipate down the line, you'll see this guy getting a big deal.
We have another bag being dropped. The Lions are working to finalize, okay?
Wow.
A deal with DJ Reed, Jets free agent. So look at the Lions making some plays, trying to reload on that defensive side.
Yeah, I love this move. They're clearly replacing Carlton Davis here. I assume it's for less money. That's just my guess on this, but I've heard he's an absolute dog here.
Well, it wouldn't be a Lions prospect if he wasn't an absolute dog.
Amen.
I think he would know what he's signing up for if he was going to the Detroit Lions at this point. The Lions know what they're trying to get on their team. Congrats to him going from the Jets to the Lions, making some money and joining a defense that hunts on a regular basis.
The contract details are out there per Schultz report. 3 years for $48 million. 3 or 48 million. This was a guy that me and Connor were arguing about earlier that we wanted to be on our team. So he's a Bossy got to know.
One of them for sure. Charvarius Ward is still kind of the top corner of free agency. That's kind of, I think, when any team that needed or wanted a corner, Charvarius Ward was that guy. So you wonder, looking at those numbers, especially with the J.C. Horn deal that got done before all of this, if Carlton Davis 3 years, 60 is, where the top so far has been, you wonder if Ward would get like a 490 maybe, because he's been all pro, right? When he was with the Niners, he was first team all pro. When they went to the Super Bowl, he had an unbelievable year, so you do wonder what he's going to have.
Who has that money?
A few teams. The Chargers would be a team. He's already out there on the West Coast, the New England Patriots, but we have Christian Gonzalez, and now we just spent, $60 million on Carlton.
Yeah, maybe we're backloading them.
Hey, you got it. Embarrassment of riches. I love it. I would love to have Charvarius Ward. Bring his ass in, too. You can put Gonzo anywhere. That guy can play at the end if you need him to. He's that good at football, but, I'm not expecting Ward at this point. If that were to come through the wire, my day would be made.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who continues to spend the money. Who continues, like the Lions spending right there. Did not expect that.
Didn't expect that. That's Calvin Shepard's first signing, really.
I did not expect. I thought we would Wednesday, Thursday, Friday type deal.
Agreed.
Chiefs have gotten in on the action. Obviously, they bring in a left tackle from the Niners. Speaking of the Niners and Joey Bosa potentially going to do business together to reunite the Bosa brothers. Both of Bosas could potentially be on the 49ers. Obviously, both Ohio State lads. The family would like to see this happen, allegedly, from what's being reported. How do you feel about this particular story potentially coming to fruition over there in San Fran of these Ohio State boys, AJ Hawk?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the deal would possibly look like for Joey Bosa, but you see it says it would likely be a moderate deal plus incentives, like give him the option, hey, if he goes out there and kills it, he can get kind of market value what he thinks. But yeah, why wouldn't you take somewhat of a hometown discount if you're Joey Bosa to come join your brother and a team that should be very, very good, even though they underperformed last year, had injuries and everything. But yeah, a good team, good coaches. Absolutely, get it done.
Bob Saleh, now the defensive coordinator yet again for the San Francisco 49ers. The Bosa story would be sweet. Joey Bosa, obviously great businessman. Here, let's not get it twisted. So just taking a hometown discount, maybe not necessarily assumed, but maybe it will be the case so he can play with his brother. I love whenever people load up on the defensive side.
Yeah.
I offensive line and defensive side, I like the way that team
interior D-line, too. Don't you like interior D-line? Those are like what Debo was saying earlier, like O-line, D-line, we know they're not like the sexy pictures, sexy things that you could go out and sell to every fan and casual fans, but people that actually know football and know that team know, okay, if we show up this O-line and look what the Bears have done so far in free agency and trading for them, and like you got to address the needs. And O-line, if you don't have that, you will not win football games. We have seen that over and over again.
Yeah, and it's nothing more valuable to a defense than a four-man pass rush. A four-man pass rush, especially in that fourth quarter. And we saw Super Bowl champs right now. Even the last time they made it to the Super Bowl, they had dominant four-man fronts. We're able to have 7 guys back there watching the quarterback.
Both the Bosas will be good.
That would be pretty sweet.
That would be great.
Especially with Bubby Saleh. Saleh being back with the Niners, that does feel like that's a huge game changer for them.
Gino Smith was traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegedly, he was offered $35 to $40 million. There was multiple reports flooding around. You never know what's real and what's not real. Allegedly, the Seattle Seahawks wanted Gino Smith back in a restructure of a contract or an extension of a contract, and he said no, and now he is with the Las Vegas Raiders, reunited with Pete Carroll. Once again, don't know how much of the money thing is real from Seattle with Gino, but I do know he is currently now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders team. They needed a quarterback. That was very evident by all parties that looked at their roster, looked at their team, and looked at their future. Gino Smith is a proven guy. He's played great ball. Now he gets an opportunity to do it in Las Vegas, where they have been in dire need of somebody to play the QB position. Tom Brady, obviously a massive part of all of this. Pete Carroll, part of this. Chip Kelly now, the offensive coordinator. How will he and Gino see the field? Hopefully incredible. But that era in Seattle seemingly over. They're looking for a new one. Gino now with the Raiders. What are your thoughts, AJ?
I love Gino, and it goes to the thing, like when you think how much was Tom Brady involved, obviously he seems to be very involved. I didn't see this coming before he signed with the Raiders. I didn't know if they were hot on him or they were going to go after him like they did, but it's something to where like you don't want to be stuck without a quarterback, obviously, and you don't want to have to develop a young guy. It's like when you think of these offensive linemen getting gigs and getting these big old contracts, and some people may have not heard of them, like these guys have started and made plays in the league for a long time. I think that's got to make front office people feel good. Like, all right, we know we can kind of craft him. We know this guy has won a lot of big time football games. So, like, for me, I love having experience, especially at the quarterback position.
Yeah, and you talk about people getting signed that are proven players and durable and everything like that. Left tackle just got signed to the Chiefs, had 200 snaps or something like that.
Yeah.
Has not played. But to your point, though, yes, being durable in your ability is certainly something that GMs are looking at whenever they're making a decision to pull the trigger on you joining them. Shout out to Gino having a new home. I hope it works out over there.
Is he working on a new deal with Vegas?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm excited to see what that deal is. It's one glaring weakness in Gino's game, and that's the red zone.
Yeah.
Just red zone turnovers. If
giving
he
the ball
cuts
away.
that out of his game, easily a top 8 type of guy who can throw the ball down the field, make every throw, and make plays for a winning franchise. So if he just cuts that back, cuts that down, be a great thing, obviously, for Gino and the Raiders.
Let's talk about the quarterback position. Daniel Jones has been linked to a couple teams. Remember, he went from the Giants starting quarterback to the reason why they got rid of Saquon and everything is they're going to build around him. He then gets demoted to playing practice squad defensive end.
Yep.
Then he asked for his release. He then ends up with the Vikings for the end of last year, gets a chance to be around the building. They get a chance to be around him. Are they going to bring Daniel Jones back to be the Minnesota Vikings veteran quarterback as J.J. McCarthy gets a year to either watch, or J.J. McCarthy becomes starter halfway through the year, or how does it play out? We don't know. DJ's either going to be with the Vikings or he's going to be with the Indianapolis Colts, what they're saying. And I'll tell you what, the more I look at Daniel Jones and the more I think about Shane Steichen's offense.
Baller.
Yeah. I'm thinking I want Daniel Jones in Indianapolis.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, they said it's open competition at the quarterback position here in Indianapolis, and I don't know what the narrative is in Minnesota for Daniel Jones, but him and AR, similar styles. Different humans, similar styles. Can certainly run. DJ is not scared to put his face in a fan. He's been a pro. He's been around. It could be good for AR to watch him kind of do his thing after watching Joe Flacco, hopefully watching him and learning from him and trying to gain some wisdom from somebody that's been in the NFL a long time, has won a Super Bowl. I'm talking about Joe Flacco here. So hopefully you'll continue to do that, maybe with another veteran quarterback like Daniel Jones. But I don't think you could have told me 3 months ago that I'd be jacked up about this, but now I'm in.
Hell yeah.
Give me Daniel Jones in Indianapolis.
Wow.
This is a similar situation with Carson Wentz. This is a similar situation with Matt Ryan. This is a similar situation with Daniel Jones now. I wasn't in.
Phil Rivers.
No, I was in on Phil. Let's not ever.
We knew what Phil was.
I've always been a Phil Rivers guy. So don't.
Just checking.
Okay. And he was a mannequin. That guy couldn't even move.
No,
Threw a medicine ball.
Took us to the playoff.
Yeah.
Took the Colts to the playoff.
Almost beat the Bills, yeah.
I wish Phil would have stuck around Indianapolis a little bit longer, but instead that led to the Matt Ryan experiment and everything else that we've had. And all those guys, I thought maybe we're done. Maybe not go players. What are we doing here? I don't want to do this. Why are they coming to Indianapolis? Daniel Jones, similar. Very similar. Especially with how Hard Knocks went and the offseason thing. And, where Saquon goes on, the offensive player of the year wins Super Bowl and, that whole thing in Philadelphia. And Daniel Jones ends up being on a scout team and, he gets kind of shipped out of there. But now that I think about it, it wasn't the right fit ever in New York. He's supposed to be in a place like Indianapolis. And Shane Steichen's offense is the right one for him. So if he was coming here to Indy, I'd be pumped up. D-Butts, your thoughts on DJ?
I'd be pumped up, too.
That's what I'm talking about.
We just got talking about Gino Smith.
You give him starter money, D-Butt?
No.
What do you get? What's the deal look like then? What's it look like?
Pump our brakes.
You need to relax.
You got multiple bidders for his services.
Yeah, we'll see.
2025.
We'll let Chris Ballard figure that out.
We don't want to do any public negotiating for anything.
No.
30 mil.
Plus, there's a path now. I mean, Baker was playing D tackle, and now Baker's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Dan Jones is playing D tackle. Now he's going to potentially be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL.
Sam Darnold.
Bingo.
Gino Smith. They called him a bust in New York.
He never wrote back.
And look at him now.
That's true.
Bruce Brown, you would know Daniel Jones more. He would fit in great here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, even at Danny's best, it's kind of like with Gino with the red zone. Danny just could never shake that 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 plays a game where it's a boneheaded interception. It's a not setting the pass protection and getting sacked on 4th and 3. It's a
sounds like a lot of blame, but the guy who's not there anymore.
Yeah, what's
fumbling the game away. Just always sort of those game losing plays. But when he's tying it together, running the ball, slinging it around a bit, it could happen that he could have that Sam Darnold type arc where he improves a bit. But I just struggle with he went to Duke.
Okay,
he's smart.
So
after watching him for 5 years, I'm not sure.
Why? He's smart.
I'm not sure.
He's smart.
Because he's got the wheels.
Yeah, he does.
He's got the wheels. Sure. He has the arm. The deep ball accuracy.
He won a playoff game.
He won a playoff game for the Giants.
But it's all there physically, and it's just
In
like,
Minnesota.
hey man, why can't you put it all together? And I just don't. Maybe it's a mental thing.
Ultimately, he'll be coming here to push Anthony Richardson to be the best version of himself.
And he will do that.
Yeah,
with his head
he'll
down.
win the job.
What's that?
What's that? I got great faith in AR turning it around.
Well,
like a professional.
Just a year.
I heard different things
22.
from my sources, and all I know is Dan Jones coming to town means one thing and one thing only: 9-8.
Okay.
Maybe a first round. What? 9-8 would be
It's AR.
That's a winning year.
That's a winning year, and that's what they just went. So think about that, or 8-9. Either way, all I know is they ain't losing to the Giants by 40 points. Week 17, week 18 to end the year with that bad taste in your mouth. Now they're 1-0 in 2025. Praise the Lord. But Daniel Jones coming to the team would mean one thing, and that's a playoff.
Sam Darnold to the Seahawks seemingly grew a lot of hype over the last couple of days. I thought he was going back to the Vikings. I guess he's going to the Seahawks. Does that mean Daniel Jones definitely going back to the Vikings because he's been there, so they want to re-sign somebody too? Who knows? Colts could potentially sign him. Is JJ going to be the starter? What if no veteran quarterback signs with the Vikings? Is Aaron all of a sudden now in conversation with Kevin O'Connell? And the Minnesota Vikings is, with the Jets with Justin Fields, allegedly?
He can't do it.
What?
That's one place Aaron can't.
He can.
Why? They got Addison, Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones just re-signed back there. They got TJ Hawkinson.
Can't.
Kevin O'Connell.
We got Michael Strahan waving an Eagles flag before the Super Bowl. Anything can happen. He might be a Viking.
Yeah, that's a Giants fan who was very bummed out about seeing that particular visual. Don't think you heard what was happening. He and Saquon had a moment.
I guess.
He and Saquon had a moment. He was supporting Saquon.
I would love that.
He was supporting Saquon. Justin Fields to the Jets, allegedly. That seems to be something. Justin Fields is currently in Dubai. Had a phenomenal espresso.
It was very well decorated.
Over there in Dubai. I saw that from a photo. He's currently in the United Arab Emirates, I do believe. Is that where Dubai is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
UAE.
UAE. And they say it's nice. The barista's artist work.
Artisanal?
Whatever.
You get it.
Yeah, there you go.
Artistry.
Yes.
The barista's artistry. Great. Where's Justin Fields go? Where's Aaron go? Who's the quarterbacks? Where's Shavarius Ward going? There's a lot of names still out there. The free agency frenzy continues on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. Monday Night Raw, live from Madison Square Garden, tonight on Netflix. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Okay, let's take a break with this free agent graphic. This is currently the scoreboard. From what we could find, keeping track of, teams that have made signings, extensions, tags, restructures, and trades. Have not seen this yet. This is first time seeing this. Now, the Colts have one on the board. That was a restructure of Braden Smith.
Okay.
Remember the offensive lineman? We're opening up room in the cap to make some plays. Only team that hasn't done a damn thing, according to our tracker.
Oh, no.
Miami Dolphins.
What the hell, Gumps?
Congrats, Gump.
Congrats, Gump.
We won the free agency shit years before. Don't mean shit. Who cares? Don't get anybody. How about that? Run it back.
Resign
Same
Javon
squad.
Holland. Resign Holland.
No,
Yes.
do not. Do not.
Need 'em.
Do not do that. We don't need them. We don't need any of our safeties back from last year. As a matter of fact, we need cornerbacks. We need safeties. We don't need a pass rusher. We got 3 of them. We need an offensive line. We need an offensive line for 5 fucking years.
You need a lot of things. There's 0 on the scoreboard
Fucking
right
donut.
now. Maybe
Big
they'll
draft.
get to work.
Big draft coming up.
Gumpy, stay positive.
Always.
Remember, Gumpy, stay positive.
Always.
All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll revisit what has happened or break some more news around the NFL. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5. Did you know you would be good in front office? Did you know that this was going to be something you would succeed at?
I didn't know I'd be good at it. I didn't even know I'd be doing it. It's an interesting story as to how I ended up here. I ask myself that often. Way back when I was a kid, I did love like the NFL draft. My dad used to pull me out of school. Out of half day, he'd come pick me up at lunch. We'd go watch the draft. So I loved that. Throughout my career, I'd piss my wife off by not only watching round 1 through 3, but then watching round 7. And I'm filling out sheets. And I think the thing that probably piqued my interest, I was living in Denver after I got done playing there. I'd become friendly with Elway. We played some golf together and he looked out for me. We had the same high school coach. We went to Stanford, played football, baseball, same fraternity. That was like the poster on my wall. But Elway took the leap at the Broncos. And in his first year, he said, Johnny, you know, I'm keeping a lot of the scouts, but I don't know them. I love the way you think about football. Could you watch the safeties this year and write some reports? And so I did that for him. Remember, it was the year of like Mark Barron and Harrison Smith. And I took a lot of pride in. I had no idea how scouts did things, but I just watched it like I would watch film, and I sat there at the computer and wrote some reports, and Elway was blown away with like the detail. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right. The next year he says, that was awesome, Johnny, why don't you do the DBs? So I did the entire DBs. I added the corners. The next year he invites me in for their draft process. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of time. I went to Indy. I went to the combine with the Broncos that year. So that started piquing my interest. Long after that, there was a guy who ended up bidding for the Carolina Panthers, and he didn't get the team. Tepper got it, but there was another gentleman by the name of Ben Navarro, and I worked with his brother at Fox, and he one time asked if he could meet with me, and out of the blue asked me if I would run his team if he got the Panthers. And I said, really? Are you serious? And he asked me to kind of put together a vision statement for how I would run a team, and so I spent a couple weeks doing that. I met with him, and from that point forward, I kind of just said, if the right scenario ever came about, this might be something I want to do. I was missing like competition. I was missing scoreboard. I was missing the wins, the losses, all of that. Out of nowhere, something was keeping me up at night one year. I didn't even know what it was, and my wife said, something's on your mind. I know you when you're acting like this. You can't sleep. And I had done a bunch of Falcon games that year, and Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. It's the year they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and I heard something like Kyle Shanahan's going to get this Niners job, and that's the one he wants. But somebody said he's struggling to find a GM he wants to work with, and so something was on my mind. I had done a bunch of Kyle's games that year, and I gave him a cold call, and I just said, hey, dude, I want to thank you for all the time you've given me all year in these production meetings. I heard something that you're struggling to find a GM. And he goes, I am, man, it's killing me. I think I am going to take that Niners job. And he goes, why are you asking? And I said, well, consider me. I don't even know if I do it, but just think about that and see what you think. And his first question, he's like, dude, why would you do that? You got a great job. You got a great life. Like, why would you even consider doing that? I said, you go play your games. He did. He called back and he said, man, I can't stop thinking about what you said to me. Would you do that? And I want you to come meet this dude named Jed. Well, that dude named Jed was our owner here, Jed York. Came and met Jed. We flew cross country to Atlanta. I was offered the job on that flight. We meet with Kyle and the whole thing's wrapped up. I hadn't even talked to my wife or family yet. It all moved kind of fast, and here we are 8 years later. So sorry for the long story.
No. I'm hoping we get 3 or 4 more of those. That was phenomenal. Hey, thank you for blessing us with that information. And also, shout out to you being somebody taking initiative and being like, you know what? Yeah, this is something I want. And diving right in and being prepared and knowing.
Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I'd get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why I, at times, have taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
Probably the most interesting trade was the Randy Moss trade. After the draft, the first day of the draft, we've been trying to trade for Randy Moss for 2 months, all like childbirth. I mean, it took forever. After the first day of the draft, I talked to Mr. Davis. I said, are we going to make this deal or not? And he said, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it for your 4th. And I think we were picking like 7th in the 4th round. I said, well, we got to get the guy for a physical. We can't take his contract. We're going to have to renegotiate his contract. And Mr. Davis said, well, that's your problem. If you want to trade for him, then you get it done. I said, all right. I call up Randy. Hey, Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Boom. Hangs up the phone. What? Let me try this again. Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Who is this? Who's pranking me? Who is this? Bam. Hangs up the phone. Randy, this is Coach Belichick. We traded for you. What? Is this a joke? This better not be a joke. Who is this? No. This is, all right. Really? I said, yeah, but look, we got to get this done by tomorrow at noon. He goes, all right, what do I need to do? I said, you need to come up, take a physical, and we need to renegotiate your contract. It's by noon? Yeah. He goes, well, I'm in Houston now, but I got a plane. I'll be there. Nice. He flies, and he's there at 8 o'clock in the morning, comes in and takes the physical. You know, the old,
Yeah. Make sure he's live.
Okay, you're good. Renegotiate the contract. We're done at 10 o'clock. And first thing he says to me is, where's the playbook? Oh, that's awesome. I said, right here. He said, okay, because when I walk out there with the first team with Brady, I got to know all the plays. I can't go out there and make mental errors and screw up. I got to know his offense. And he was smart, man. This guy was smart. On this post-safety coverage, what are you going to do? He goes, Coach, you ain't going to see any post-safety coverage against me. Like, oh. He goes, you're going to see cover 2. We haven't seen cover 2 in years. He's like, you're going to see cover 2. And he was right. And then he would say, well, here's how I'd run this route. Here's how I'd run that route. And I started thinking, like, we got to start giving Randy some routes. We're running this, and they play cover 2. How we can move him into the slot. He's like, move me into the slot. I said, yes, you can get in the middle and cover 2. He's like, all right, good. 25 touchdowns.
So many.
Opens up the running game, too.
I'm telling you, it was Randy, come on, man. Trying to.
Pat, I talked to you about it before the game. Texas 108th in red zone offense versus the number 2 red zone defense.
108th in the country out of 130. It doesn't show up till it shows up. 4th and goal in the 4th quarter for the Texas Longhorns. Quinn Ewers, fresh off the 4th and 13. Jack Sawyer, give me that! Strip set from Jack! He scoops, he runs! Jack Sawyer, touchdown! Wow. Ohio State Buckeyes have taken a 13-point lead because Jack Sawyer is an absolute problem.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You ping! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this massive overreaction free agency frenzy Monday, March 10th, 2025, hour 3 of the program starts now. Football! Third time's a charm. That's the first time I got the intro off. It is no longer sports, AJ. Thanks for watching the program. That is AJ Hawk. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and Bruce Brown. T's and P's, positive vibes to Ty Schmidt and his family. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP Tone is here. Back to the cowboy hat, Tone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're back on the Super Bowl hunt, so.
Okay, so
We're back on the horse.
there was a 2-day period there where you guys weren't hunting the Super Bowl.
We just didn't know who we were really anymore. But DK, like a shot of adrenaline straight through the heart, we're back.
All the way back.
All the way back. Well, we got to sign a quarterback, but
Yeah, somebody's going to have to get them the ball, but we assume that's going to take
Boz
place.
will do it. if he has
9
to.
year, I saw that. Chris Boswell posted on his Instagram story, if you need me, I'm in the building. Maybe he's kicker and quarterback. We shall see. Jets don't have a quarterback. Vikings don't have a quarterback. Seahawks don't have a quarterback. Raiders have one in Gino Smith. It has been very active. The corners have been getting money. 9-year NFL vet. Everything DB. Good D, bad D host. D-Butch is here.
Yes, sir.
D-Butch, you look incredibly cool. J.C. Horn kind of started today with the $25 million per year. We have another member of a secondary getting a bag. Ladies and gentlemen, the Carolina Panthers once again are in the bag handing out business. As Schultz has reported, the Panthers are expected to sign Raiders safety Trevon Moehrig to a 3-year, $51 million contract. Sources tell NFL on Fox. Okay, so Schultz is claiming NFL on Fox. That needs to be said for any future stare downs or standoffs at Starbucks.
Wow.
Okay, because I think there was a little bit of a whoa type situation happening between that. I don't know Trevon Moehrig, just of the name. D-Butch, who is he? And I love that the Panthers are making plays right now.
Yeah, was it DJ or somebody said?
It was both. It was both of them.
Both said watch the Panthers spending money and building up a team. Love what they're doing right now. Moehrig is a versatile safety. Now he played for the Raiders, so at probably halfway through the season, that's when I stopped watching a bunch of teams that aren't trending towards the playoffs. But he's a good player. He's available. We talk about how availability is very, very important, and that's a great number for him. Expecting him, Cam Bynum from Minnesota, and then Javon Holland from Miami to kind of get great deals at the safety position. So this is one of those dominoes.
I love the Panthers.
They're doing it.
Morgan goes over there, linebacker. Got a chance to meet him at the Combine. Good handshake. And his eyes, like the intensity, that's real.
Still bringing it.
That's all day, every day, AJ, whenever I met him at the Combine. And I think he and Canales and Tepper are all seeing the exact same picture. And we've obviously said some shit about Tepper, because some shit has gone down with Tepper. I mean, that is just a matter of fact. I think he would say that if he was in our position as well. But what we've watched him do and evolve as an NFL owner to the point that they're at now, it's like, wait, are the Panthers back in, going to be a team conversation? I think so. I think they have a real chance, AJ Hawk.
Well, I think they gained a lot of respect, the last quarter of the season, last half quarter of the season, they became like a viable team again. I feel like where you gave them hope, they had some hope there in Carolina. So I don't know, some big news may have just.
Now this is about Carolina. There is a bigger bag alert.
What?
Being handed out by the New England Patriots. We had a source earlier today. There was a deal to be finalized for Milton Williams with the Carolina Panthers that was reported. Then we were told by this man, whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. No deal had been signed. Woo. We wondered if Rap Sheet had maybe a little piece of information saying, hey, we are still very much in this game. I know it's being reported that he's going to the Panthers, but D-tackle Milton Williams, Super Bowl champion, gets a $26 million per year deal done in New England. Shout out to his agent, old Ricky Roberts of Clutch Sports. Congratulations to the Patriots getting one of the guys that every one of their fans was hoping for, but also getting a bunch of guys that build your culture. Connor, you got to be thrilled, because whenever we saw his name linked with Carolina, I think you were a little bummed out.
Yeah.
You're a little bummed out about this. But now you get a dog that's going to fit into the new culture, and he's a winner and a durable player. Boston, Connor, New England Patriots fans, have a day today, pal.
Yeah, incredible. And it's all defense when you're looking at what the Patriots have done over these last 2 days. Harold Landry, pass rusher, needs to be able to get there. Of course, they brought in Morgan Moses. Also need to protect Drake May. But Carlton Davis, Spillane. Now you add Milton Williams. The cultures that in the players that they're getting these places from, are top tier. You want guys who are winners. You want guys who play a lot of games. I remember Morgan Moses, that was one of his biggest things last year, was that the guy damn near doesn't miss any snaps when it comes to playing football. And so for the New England Patriots and Mike Vrabel and kind of the new era, bringing in these guys is massive. And then you just think about, who do you need to stop when you're, watch.
That was Kamara right there.
Yeah.
That wasn't just
4.6. Ran a 4.6 at the combine.
4.6, and he's huge. And huge. I was just about to say, he's tackling Kamara. When you think about the AFC East, you got to tackle Josh Allen. Josh Allen's who's everyone's kind of looking up to right now. So, Bob Spillane, we've seen it. I don't know if we've ran it yet. Mike Vrabel wanted Bob Spillane because he went 200 miles an hour through the A-gap to tackle Derrick Henry on the goal line. And that is kind of the type of guy that you want on your football team. I am thrilled about today. No wide receivers have been taken. I think that kind of says a lot about who they think they still have. The rookies last year that didn't get, much burn with Gerard Mayo, both Jalen Polk and Javon Baker. Javon Baker, who said famously, he makes people in wheelchairs stand up when he's playing football. So I think they do still have a lot of hope in those guys going into their second year, but the defense is all the way back.
Still got money too.
Still got
Patriots still have money. They started out the day with $122 million. So whenever they weren't the first name being announced for all these signings, there was a little bit of a wonder about what's happening. Now they get Milton Williams, who has agreed to deals or finalized on a contract with the Panthers, going to the Patriots. What are your thoughts on what Vrabes is doing, AJ?
This feels exactly like what you would do if you're saying, hey, well, how would Mike Vrabel kind of like shore up the team or shore up some possible weaknesses? I feel like every signing that he has feels like such a Vrabel move. But man, like the more you think about it, when you can get interior pressure, not only obviously your D linemen, your interior guys have to stop the run. That's a given. But when you can get interior push consistently, like you see, that's why the Eagles, a big reason why they won the Super Bowl, as they're all getting held like hell from everybody inside. Like it's just it just creates so much problems for the offense. Like I understand the O-line, D-line situation, Howie. I understand why you do that. I think the NFL is at a great time to where we're seeing these guys, we're seeing them shine, and we're seeing them. It's paying off for them. They're getting paid the money they deserve. I mean, look at the push on this play.
Yeah, if you can get if you can get home with 4, that is quite a benefit and a help. It won the Eagles the Super Bowl, and now your D-line packed.
Oh, yeah, stacked. You have Harold Landry on one edge. Then you can go to Milton Williams. Christian Barmore, who missed all of last year with the blood clots. He came back towards, I think, week 15 or 14, played some snaps, then they shut him back down. He got paid last year, actually. And then Keon White, the 45-year-old who was drafted 2 years ago.
Didn't love what was going on.
Did not like what was going on. I actually talked about how much he loved Belichick and kind of the hard, tough coaching, and then how it kind of changed a little. And there were some, problems with him in the defense or something like that, because he started off the year, he had like 4 sacks in the first couple weeks, and then for some reason, he kind of stopped getting much burn. But you got him on one side too, and then you also just thinking about that number 4 overall pick. Who knows who's going to be there? But let's say they bring in, Mason Graham, who's kind of known as the top guy in this class when it comes to, interior D-line. Of course, Abdul Carter would be fantastic too, but the options now at 4 become massive, especially, Travis Hunter as well. But yeah, Patriots all of a sudden, don't look now, boys, but we're winning games. We're winning games in March. It's hard to, but the Patriots are winning games here on March 10th. Look out.
And with Williams, those numbers obviously coming out, and then his production on the field, But a guy like this, when you give him the first big contract, you anticipate a big upside for him to hit his actual prime in the league. And you just added already 4 legit starters to your defense with already day one of free agency. So cooking right now.
Yeah, come on, boys.
Dude, okay. So what was a little bit of a slow start for the team with the most amount, we don't know if it's the most in history.
Probably safe assumption.
It's a lot. It was 100. It was the most this year by more than, so much money the Patriots had. And, I think having Vrabel, who's already been a head coach one time, right?
Yes.
Already been a head coach, already been through it, has been given the reins, like, hey, this is your team. You're allowed to do it. And him being able to study their own roster, study their own situation, and then say, what do we need to change? Well, obviously he thought culture needed to change quick. So he brings them in some real culture people. I respect that. I appreciate that because I think he understands that whenever people just draft talent or bring in talent, they're forgetting that these are humans and not a video game. Like, you're not just dropping a 91 into a locker room that you could just play that's going to be on 91 every single day. You got to bring in a culture. You got to bring in attitude. You got to bring in buy-in. You got to bring in stick-to-itiveness from a group of people. And whenever you bring those players in, plus the places that you need it, it's like, that's how you build a team. Not just like an all-star team. Like, that's how you build a squad. I love what Vrabel is doing here. Legitimately, I love.
They're not done either. Let's see what they do. They still have plenty of money left, don't they?
Yeah, plenty.
And we're classic daytime sports talk show hosts here. So we're like, whoa, look at the Patriots winning the Super Bowl on March 10th. We're doing that.
They winning free agency right now.
They certainly winning today.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, too. Like, when your team is so bad, just to get players, of course, is awesome because we've seen it over the past couple of years with New England and the Massachusetts thing that's been talked about. Like, hey, people don't want to go up to New England. So just getting the players, one, is massive. But then the other thing, too, is where they're coming from. Like, Milton Williams, Eagles, awesome. Of course, Carlton Davis, Lions, awesome. Spillane, Raiders, stinks, but we've seen how he's played. He had 158 tackles in games that didn't even matter, but he's still going out there and playing so well. And then Harold Landry, just talking about, guy who gets the culture. Like, if there's anyone who gets the culture, it's Harold Landry. He got drafted by Vrabel, during the times when it might get a little tough and Vrabel is, maybe ripping the boys a little bit and making, practice hard. If anyone can talk about how much it's worth, it's Harold Landry, So it is just massive. And they're 4-13. Of course, we need more guys. Yeah. If they weren't spending money, we'd be talking about what the hell are the Patriots doing versus now they are spending money. It's like, holy shit, they're trying to make a change here. Let's flip this thing quick and not, hey, we got a couple years here to build this thing. It's like, no, let's try and win right now versus waiting.
Try to get Godwin, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Godwin. Yeah. So that's probably where I would assume at least he probably turned down that extra, $15, $20 million, whatever he said it was.
Oh, no.
So.
Yeah, well, no, that's fine. You staying in the same place, especially Tampa. The amount of time he's probably been with that entire staff, not just the coaches, but the training staff and everything with the rehab he's had to do for multiple years now. But that's why I would still look at like a Cooper Kupp. Him being available, we could easily, pay his contract in. He would just be a perfect kind of vet receiver for both the young guys and just Drake May to have.
A lot of people think of that. New England Patriots, certainly one of the teams doing that. You mentioned where everybody's from and the cultures they're from, and you said the Raiders stink and have stunk, which they certainly have. But Bob Spillane has this in his back pocket.
That's right.
This one he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Derrick Henry, he's the guy. Boom! Head-on collision. Backed up 3 feet so he could get a running start more so he could put his face through Derrick Henry's chin. That's a tone setter. He would go on to get a deal from the Raiders because of that, and he would continue to do the same thing with Las Vegas. And now he's going to New England. And Vrabel was there for this, obviously, on the sideline as this took place and thought to himself, if we can ever get that fucking dump truck, let's go ahead and get him on our team as opposed to another team. It's like very evident that that's what Vrabes is looking at. And as a fan of a team that maybe isn't like that, you can bring in culture. You can change your culture.
For sure. Chris is about to start cooking. You just wait.
Style of play. Their style of play is going to change.
Yes.
Yes, you can change. And you can change the locker room. You can change habits. You can change You can change everything with who you bring in. It's like, people are called cancers, and it's obviously a terrible phrase, but you don't want to be called a cancer because cancer spreads, right? And cancer is a very negative thing. So if you have a couple shitbags in your locker room, okay? A couple people that don't care about anything, that obviously can spread to younger people, their friends. Even if the person is a terrible professional, they're going to have friends on the team because they're probably pretty cool people. They just suck as professional athletes. So they're going to have friends. So every time they bring up a point about something, you're potentially spreading, planting seeds for other people to kind of get that way. And then all of a sudden, it goes from one shitbag, and then you've got 3 shitbags. And then 3 shitbags becomes 5, and if things don't go well, all of a sudden, we got a shitbag party in your locker room. And that is not where you want to be. But that can go the opposite direction as well. You know, you can have a couple great culture people, and they're kind of spreading through the locker room, and they're building, and they're changing. And it's like that can happen if you bring in the right people. Now, you have to have success.
For sure.
Okay, because you have to have the ability to say it's worth everything we're doing because it's working. You know, in Detroit, they bring in just literally loyal culture dogs.
They draft Penei Sewell, they draft St. Brown, Ragnow's still there. Those are all culture guys.
And they stink for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And they just stuck to it. If you don't have culture guys in the locker room, once you go 0-8 again, it's like that shit's getting ugly. But instead, they bought in, remained behind MCDC and his vision. I think Vrabes is seemingly doing the same thing. We have another bag alert. Defensive lineman from the Chargers, Puna Ford, stays in Los Angeles with the Rams, has agreed to a 3-year, under $30 million deal with $17 million guaranteed. Ford experienced a career rebirth in 2024, and he gets rewarded. Agent Murphy McGuire of Octagon Football negotiated the deal. Okay, congrats to Puna Ford. Yet again, another D lineman making some money. Trenches really stealing the convo here today. What are your thoughts on the Rams signing Puna Ford alongside Puka Nacua over there as the Los Angeles Rams continue to build?
I mean, obviously another great thing for the Rams. I mean, we had Puka on earlier, thinking Devontae and Puka both out there at the same time with Matthew Stafford throwing the ball just seems, they're going to be a fun team to watch. But what did we say? Get an interior push. You stop the run. What do they say? The old school cliche. We got to stop the run. We got to be able to run the ball and be good on third down. If you can do those things, you can be all right. And I think when you have, I like where the NFL is going. I really do with all this trenches. All these guys getting paid what they should get paid. They don't get the recognition maybe, but I think it doesn't matter if you get the money. That's okay.
I love that the big boys and physical football is being recognized. Whenever a physical football team wins it all, people say, okay, so you can win playing that style, and they go into it. That's good for the sport, especially with the amount of eyes that are on it now. Just wait until you see these massive collisions that are coming right around the corner. Now, a massive bag has been dropped in the city of Seattle. Sam Darnold signs a 3-year deal worth close to $100 million. 30-something for Sam Darnold with the Seahawks per year. Still only 27 years old. He'll be 30 when this one's up, be able to do another deal if he continues to ball. There's a new era in Seattle with the Seahawks and McDonald, and Sam Darnold is going to be the one leading it as the quarterback. Obviously had a career rebirth in 2024 with the Minnesota Vikings, where he was on like a 9-year or $10 million deal. Now he gets rewarded for it. Schefter is reporting it's a 3-year, $110.5 million contract, including $55 million guaranteed. Whatever the case, congratulations to Sam Darnold. 2 years ago, this guy's dead, okay?
Yeah.
This guy isn't even in conversation anymore. Career's over. Bounces around from the Niners. Then he goes to the Vikings, and he becomes the player that everybody thought he could be. Had 2 bad games to end the season. So that made people wonder, our team's going to be gun shy? Are they going to think this is the same old Sam Darnold? Or are they going to think that this is the Sam Darnold that we were hoping for whenever he came out of college? Incredibly talented, wicked young. And with Kevin O'Connell was able to spin it all over the field. 14-3 record for the Vikings he led them to on a $10 million a year contract. Had Justin Jefferson, had Addison, had Hawkinson, had Kevin O'Connell. Out in Seattle, it's going to look a bit different, obviously, now without DK Metcalf. But he gets his deal deal, and the Seattle Seahawks now knock over the next quarterback domino that can lead into the next storyline of the NFL offseason, D-Bud.
I mean, this is obviously great for Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. I mean, Darnold, we're all looking at the Seahawks like, okay, what the hell are you doing? Is this a rebuild? And now you mention it. Sam Darnold is going from a place where you had Kevin O'Connell calling plays, you had Justin Jefferson, you had Addison, you had Hockenson, you had Jones behind, you had a good offensive line when healthy, and now you got to figure a lot of those things out in Seattle. So it's going to be a heavier load on his shoulders. So obviously we got to pay attention to how he handles that. This is great for him, and he showed maturity, he showed growth, played phenomenal, and then hopefully he's up for another bag before he's 30.
Yeah, I assume he probably will be. Aaron Rodgers has to get on the first thing smoking in Minnesota right now. I just looking at these highlights, first of all, it's a dome. So we're talking about Rodgers, who played in Green Bay and at MetLife, and we all know MetLife is the shittiest stadium in the entire world. And then when you think about Green Bay, awesome place, but it's freezing a lot of the times. If you put Rodgers in a dome for an entire year, I couldn't imagine what he could do. Yeah, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones, TJ Hockenson. He's been on a lot of great offenses. That's the best one he's ever been a part of, if that were to happen. They have an established left tackle because Darisaw, although he did get hurt, they just broke him off. They have a legitimate offensive line. And then you just think about Kevin O'Connell. Okay, absolutely, Matt LaFleur, amazing, play caller, and Big Mike McCarthy, amazing play caller. Whoever was calling plays for the Jets obviously stunk at their job. But again, they're still better than me. I don't know what the hell I'd be doing either, so maybe the exact same thing. But if you were to put him with KOC with Rodgers in Minnesota, it legitimately is one of those things where they would be better. And J.J. McCarthy, if we're talking about the future, sure, Danny Dimes, that'd be real cool. It'd be awesome. Him in Minnesota, showing J.J. McCarthy the ropes maybe. But you put Aaron Rodgers in Minnesota, showing J.J. McCarthy what the hell he's supposed to do with a football. They could be good for the next 20 years with how good, J.J. McCarthy could be watching a Rodgers in that offense, how it's supposed to
And
work.
some people aren't going to want to hear this, but Jordan Love says it in the documentary and openly says, Aaron was a great mentor. Answered every single question. And obviously at this stage of where he's been, what he's gone through with that offense, I think those of us who know him personally are like, that would be exciting.
Just go.
That would be, because Kevin O'Connell, he told us, what is he looking for in a quarterback? Accuracy.
Yep.
Is all he said. Well, there happens to be a guy that's maybe the best ball thrower in the history of throwing balls available, and we're not sure. And I've not talked. AJ might know more than us. AJ, what do you know? Is this?
I honestly don't know anything. No, but the more you talk about the Vikings, it sounds pretty good for him.
Yes, certainly. If you're Aaron, obviously. Now that there's contract stuff that has to be negotiated. Do you still want to play ball and commit to the entire mountain that is an NFL season, no matter where you're at, new home, new place, new city, new team, new everything? Do you want to re-sign that? I assume he's already made that decision up in his mind. And then it's what is best case scenario? Is it Pittsburgh with, DK and GP and Freiermuth and a team that wins always? And you could potentially steal a win for them with your talent, or 2 wins with them, maybe get 10, 11 wins, maybe 12 wins in this entire thing, get into the playoff, get in the dance. Who knows what's going to happen? You go to Minnesota, a team that was fighting for the number 1 seed in the NFC, home field advantage through the playoffs. It's if those are options, which we don't know, but that'd be fun if I was Aaron Rodgers. Just personally, that would be if I personally was Aaron Rodgers. That'd be crazy. I would never done the darkness thing.
No.
So I wouldn't be able to be Aaron Rodgers at this moment because I wouldn't have been able to go through anything in there. But with my ability and what happened those last couple games, Kevin O'Connell can get you up to speed on where we're looking, who we're looking at. And then Aaron adding to that with Kevin O'Connell, both seemingly football savants in this entire thing, with Justin Jefferson just being on the team.
So good.
Who could end up being the greatest wide receiver of all time if things continue to go how they go. Right now he technically does have the most yards per game in the history of the NFL when it comes to a receiver. He's averaging 96, and that is 12 better than everyone else. So, it's kind of a layup. And really now it's only Minnesota, the Giants, which is just the Jets of the NFC. He's not going to do that. And then Pittsburgh.
And the Jets.
Yeah. And the Jets.
What do the Vikings want to do?
Yeah.
Do the Vikings want to do this, though? Don't the Vikings? I mean, I would imagine JJ wants to start this year. He feels like he'll be healthy by the start of the season.
We have not been told anything about the Minnesota Vikings situation. And Kirk Herbstreit's come on our program, and he said, hey, Minnesota Vikings, I know 14-3 with Sam Darnold, so there's going to be some catch-up that's going to have to take place, obviously, in learning NFL defenses and shit like that, but J.J. McCarthy might make them better. He has massive faith in J.J. McCarthy, not only like the quarterback and throwing the ball, but everybody around him in his leadership and the way he shows up and the way he acts. Not saying Sam Darnold doesn't, but it's like J.J. McCarthy has been almost molded for the big moment. Like through high school, the guy in big situations. Straight into Michigan as a freshman, gets dropped into a team that goes to college football playoff. It's like he's got it, is what everybody says. So having him be the quarterback for this particular offense is the right move too. And I don't think Minnesota has said anything about whether or not it is JJ's time. I think a lot of us are just assuming because JJ didn't get a chance really last year to do much, maybe another year of kind of watching somebody work with an offense that's ready to go and then you take over or halfway through the year.
Damn,
go,
sounds good.
Whatever the case, it's just like that sounds like a dream scenario for the Minnesota Vikings to be in, and if Aaron Rodgers is going to play. Kirk Cousins, what's up with his situation down in Atlanta? Is that going to be talked about? Justin Fields, allegedly in Dubai, contemplating Jets or Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers in on Justin Fields, allegedly in on Aaron Rodgers. And now we know Sam Darnold with the Seattle Seahawks. Congratulations to Sam in Seattle. Gino Smith, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks, traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. It is now being reported with fact that Gino Smith turned down a very similar offer made to him that they just made to Sam Darnold from the Seattle Seahawks before he got traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. So that was reported over the weekend that he turned down a $35 to $40 million offer. And then now it is being reported that he did turn down that. And this is basically okay, we'll take this to Sam Darnold then. Gino with the Raiders. What's that, Tone?
Shefty just sent an update that it's a 3-year, $100.5 million. So the original reporting from Pelissero, I believe, was right. It might have been a typo from Shefty.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Tough day.
Well, they said just under $100 million. He's saying, actually, just over $100 million.
Yeah, but the one that we popped up was 110.
I agree, but NFL Network said close to $100 million.
Okay.
So, I mean, if we want to do counter jousting.
True, yeah. They're both wrong.
Yeah, but NFL Network said about $100 million. It's 100.5. Price is Right still plays.
Mm-hmm.
Price is Right still plays. Adam Schefter busted out over top of it. 33.337.
5, 2, 1.
One per year.
Nailed it.
That's good money.
Great money.
Sam Darnold making
10 to 30.
Yeah, 2 years ago I wasn't even playing.
Why didn't Gino want to be there?
I mean, I can see why he would turn that. Gino would turn that deal down. I would turn that deal down if I was Gino.
Once DK's gone, is that a big part of it?
Probably knew that was coming.
Lockett gone.
And, Gino has been playing good football for a few years now. Like Sam just had his 1 year where he's back, hit the market, get a bag, and Gino, he's a couple years older too, right?
Yeah.
So
he's a lot older than Sam.
And they haven't really invested in their offensive line, so it's like, all right, if I go mid-30s, then what are you even doing with it? Like, why not just give me 45? I'm out of here.
Gino's 34, Sam's 27.
Oh, yeah. So. He need to be mid-40s.
There's some tea leaves being dropped on the internet right now about Darius Slay potentially ending up on a team.
Tea leaves.
Yeah, it's Schultze, so I don't know.
He's been hot today.
Schultze's reporting Darius Slay signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Staying in the state. This is what Schultze is reporting. Obviously, they brought in DK Metcalf on a massive deal. Now Darius Slay is a corner for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yep. That defense always going to be good. D-Butch, what type of player is Darius Slay, and is this a perfect fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Perfect fit. I think Darius Slay can go and play anywhere. He can press, he can play off, and I think he's more importantly, or as important, he's great for the locker room, and he's great in those meeting rooms for whatever other corners. Joey Porter Jr. is a young corner who has a lot of upside. It can be one of the best in the game. Him being around Slay for a year or however long they're going to be together would be great. So, And you got a guy like T.J. Watt. If you're a veteran cornerback and you're looking at the landscape and you get behind a guy who's a top 3 pass rusher in the league, that's an easy choice.
This is feels very similar to when Pat P came in for a couple years at the end of his career, and that worked out really, really well.
Yep.
And Darius Slay, when he was up on the market, I believe a year or two ago, he was talking about how much he would love to play for Mike Tomlin. So, yeah, this one makes sense.
Like,
congrats to the Pittsburgh Steelers continuing to joust. How do you feel about this? It's a new year.
I feel great. Yeah.
Okay, so this is not normal for the Pittsburgh Steelers to trade for a wide receiver, pay him $30 million a year.
The DK Metcalf thing is not nothing the Steelers would ever do. The Darius Slay thing makes sense. Omar Khan has been a lot more aggressive than the previous GMs. The DK thing came out I've joked about it happening, and maybe thought there was a chance because they were in on Brandon Ayuk last year, which seemed like a similar situation, what you're going to have to give up and pay. But I never actually thought the DK thing would happen.
More news kind of coming and go. Can't.
What do we got? Some 50-50 news?
Can't confirm it or what?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, just getting, I'm saying, how much more do we, and they're saying there's stuff, and I'm like, all right, just, because sometimes we don't know when it's over.
Yeah.
Because this thing will stop. Day one of this thing will stop.
You're right.
And then, it'll be like the second wave will come. And then the third wave will come, So like earlier, whenever Rap said, no, we're still, it's like, okay, we still got, but they do have a feeling on, especially going into this, most insiders that we've gotten a chance to chat with.
Yeah.
After Combine, talking to people, they have a feeling on how far and how many people are down the road and getting their contracts done. So I just want to know how many more we got, because there's some big names still out there.
Yeah, exactly.
There is still some first round, first day free agency players that are on the board. So you would assume that those deals are coming in a matter of moments, but maybe not.
Yeah, what's sweet now is like knowing where some of these quarterbacks are, and like the draft can now start to kind of take shape a little bit. Like if the Jets aren't bringing anybody in and it's like Fields, like now the Jets might trade up into that like top 3 picks, you would think, if they do like a quarterback. And with the Raiders getting Gino Smith, I think the thought was around them with Shador, and who knows if they still take Shador, but it feels like they're just going to sit at 6 and maybe just wait and see. And Tennessee I think is the greatest story in the history of the NFL right now, because of the fact that they brought in Damiere Byrd, who Tony said was a player that played with the Pittsburgh logo on their helmet for 4 years. But aside from that, like, they haven't really done anything. It's just the NFL's the greatest, man. We are 6 months away from football, and it's all we can actually talk about.
Teams can win and lose all these things.
Oh yeah.
You overpay the wrong guy, fucked.
Yeah.
You underpay the right guy, win. You overpay the right guy, win.
Yep.
It's all about just finding who's the right person for the right culture, the right building. And just because somebody wasn't great somewhere else, which I think you were alluding to there.
No, I didn't. I was just alluding to what someone else on the program alluded to earlier. So I was alluding to an illusion.
Yeah, which I understand. And sometimes you got to do third-hand alluding to, which is what we do on this particular program. We try to, at least in it all. Maybe he gets there with Callahan and he becomes who he should be,
Hell yeah.
in this entire thing. Yeah.
That's what I'm betting on.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a 3-year, $22.5 million bag that has been dropped to Eric Murray. He's getting signed to the Jaguars. Jaguars are making another key addition on the back end, agreeing to terms with Texans safety Eric Murray. He goes down to Duval. Liam Cohen and Gladstone making plays in the own division. How do you feel about it, D-Bud?
I like it. Good move for Murray. That was a good, very, very good Texans secondary. And whenever you can pull from a good secondary into your building, I like it for the Jags.
$22.5 million, $12 million guaranteed for Eric Murray. AJ, you were talking about him last week.
Yeah, a little bit. The guy can run and play. He can make plays in space, too. We love that guy.
Oh, yeah.
2-1.
Big fan.
Maurice Jones-Drew, an insider now. He's reporting contract numbers. This is awesome.
Jaguars, maybe. He might become a Jaguars.
Maybe D-Butts, but no one else up here knows who Eric Murray is.
That's a lie.
AJ said, love the way he runs around.
Yeah. I know him. I just haven't got to study him as in-depth as I would like to.
Yes. We know Eric
I just
Murray.
looked. He's 31 years old. He's been in the league a long time.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but last year was his breakout year. That's why we like him.
31-year-old safety signing a $12 million guaranteed deal.
It's a lot of money for a 31-year-old safety.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Byrd, baby.
Gladstone said we need a little experience in here. Now, he is older than the GM of that team and potentially the head coach as well, but that type of veteran leadership is good news, especially whenever you come from the Texans with how great of a defense they had.
They did. Absolutely.
Eric Murray, what a guy. He flies around. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Fields has got a bag.
Oh, yeah?
With the New York Jets.
Wow.
Justin Fields reached an agreement on a 2-year, $40 million deal that includes $30 million guaranteed deal done by David Mulligeta, and I believe they have a jersey swap as the announcement of what team. That'll be a Jets jersey on Justin Fields. I'll tell you what, $30 million guaranteed for Justin Fields. Mulligeta does it again, and Aaron Glenn, and I would assume the GM Moogie.
Darren
Muji have a vision of what they want this team to look like. They got a guy who is one of the fastest guys on the field every time he's on the field. A guy who is a great teammate, which is by all accounts, everybody that's ever played alongside of him. The way he handled last year's situation after leading the Pittsburgh Steelers to a 4-2 or 5-1, 4-2 record, and then getting benched for Russell Wilson, just being cool with it, being an adult, being a professional, with how it ended in Chicago. Obviously, the upside is there, which is what people thought the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to continue to bet on. Instead, the New York Jets do it. $30 million guaranteed to Justin Fields to be the face of the next era in New York and Woody Johnson's team. Congrats to Justin Fields. Congrats to Justin Fields.
Oh, yeah.
This means a lot now, Pittsburgh Steelers. Minnesota Vikings.
Just the Steelers.
New York Giants.
Yeah, really.
What happens going forward? Go ahead.
It's all Steelers have to sign Aaron Rodgers, don't they?
Thank you, AJ.
Well, I mean, that is what you guys are assuming.
Shut up.
We don't know who else was in the New York Jets quarterback conversation. We had heard Justin Fields, obviously. Who else, veteran quarterback-wise, were they talking to? Who knows? Were they potentially on a horn with Kirk Cousins, maybe trying to get Kirk Cousins in there? We have no idea. What we do know is it got hot between Justin Fields and the New York Jets over like the last 24 hours. He was in Dubai drinking his coffee, and it was reported that Justin Fields is fielding options, certainly from the New York Jets, even though the Pittsburgh Steelers allegedly wanted him bad. The $30 million guarantee, I assume the Steelers were not willing to match, especially after they pay $30 million to DK Metcalf on a trade. They bring in Darius Slay. I'm excited to see if this means Aaron Rodgers to the Pittsburgh Steelers is what's next for you, AP Tone.
Yeah, give me Rodgers or give me death. Listen, Justin Fields was great. He was 4-2. They scored more than 20 points twice in those 6 games. He played very safe. He played very smart. I believe that's what the OC and the head coach told him to do. He is very young. He is very athletic. But when you bring in DK, you want a guy that is a proven thrower of the football. When you have DK and you have George Pickens and you have Pat Freiermuth, you have a chance to have an offense that is really, really good throwing the football. Is Justin that guy? I don't think he is right now. He could be in the future. But with those guys, yes, I think Aaron Rodgers, as far as next year is concerned, gives them the best chance to win football games. I mean, you talk about Tom Brady going to Tampa, Peyton Manning going to Denver, Aaron Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. Super Bowl.
He went to the Jets.
Yeah, that doesn't count because that's not actually the NFL.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. We will obviously keep an eye on it all. We have another bag drop to somebody right here in Indianapolis.
Whoa!
The Vikings safety, formerly Cam Bynum, is now a member of the Indianapolis Colts. 4-year, $60 million contract. We do not know the guarantees as of this Tom Pelissero tweet. Deal negotiated by agent Demarius Bilbo of Clutch Sports.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to town,
Bilbo.
Cam.
Hell yeah.
What's that player's Cam Bynum, and why is he perfect for the Indianapolis Colts, T-Butt?
I told you Chris would start cooking.
Yeah, he would.
So this is big time. It's another safety domino off the board. Cam Bynum, ball hawk number 1, tone setter, Cal guy, Aaron loves him, and also the leader of all celebrations. So Lucas Oil will be electric when we make plays. Getting the ball, getting our hands on the ball as a secondary. So I'm excited about
exactly
Cam.
what that locker room needs.
They need some juice. They need some leadership. They need some juice.
Choreographed
I think
dances.
Cam Bynum, they need choreographed dances for sure. I think Cam Bynum is a big piece of that. 15 a year for a safety? I love it.
Dude, him and Blue are going to go dummy
hell
in the
yeah.
end zone, bro. Could you imagine the pie in the face coming at you, bitch, by way of Cam Bynum in that big goofball Blue?
Hey,
Parent Trap.
Him and Zaire. Bah! Can't you see it now?
I can see it right now.
I can.
We do have some pieces, hopefully, that are available.
Hey.
The white chicks is perfect.
Yeah, white chicks.
That was very well done. And I'll tell you what, his attention to detail is something I appreciate. And it's something I like. Cam Bynum, welcome to Indianapolis. It's an honor to have you here, pal. Legitimately, especially with Lou Anarumo's brand new defensive coordinator, formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals, now of the Indianapolis Colts. We got Shane Steichen as the OC head coach. Things are coming together here. Cam Bynum, welcome to Dahn.
Hell yeah, Cam.
I like it. Chris opening the checkbook. I like it.
Yeah, shout out to, what was the guarantee? Did we see the guarantee? Because that would have to be the Ursay money.
Wasn't in that tweet.
Going up, have to put that, into a fund or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you put like in an escrow account, and who collects interest on that?
Well, the NFL would certainly be the ones that would collect the interest if I had to guess. But there was some rule made, I guess, back in the day that if you're going to guarantee the money, they need to hold on to the money in case you went bankrupt, I think. It's probably what the case was. So then you were kind of fucking over the players, I assume is how this rule. This is me hypothesizing. This is me allegedly, but it is a rule in the NFL. So they had it in for a while. And I think it was so the teams had to pay. Like, if you guarantee this, the money's safe, it is here. Now it's like almost a thing for the NFL to use, because everybody has the money now. I mean, the teams are worth so much. And each week you're getting paid a massive amount of cash. But the guaranteed money, it has to be put up front, at least for the first year or whatever Brandon Beane told us. So a lot of money has to be put up front by the owners. Not every owner is willing to do that. Shout out to Jim Irsay stepping in the batter's box.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's another guy, too. Talk about availability. 3 years in a row. Started all 17 games. So you got a leader back there. I love that. Always on the field, always available.
It's happening.
Here we go.
Who's AR going to have to compete against, though, in this training camp competition?
Listen, we all saw Dimes play his best football.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't we?
Oh, we haven't seen his best football yet.
No, we will, though. No, we have seen his best football. Yeah, remember, he led the team to the fucking playoffs. He was great.
One on the road.
We'll see it. He's gonna be on the same arc as these other guys. Gino, Sam, Baker gonna come back up. AR, see AR go to AFC Championship, couple Super Bowls, then go get his bag somewhere else.
Yeah,
I can see it right now. March 10th, 2025.
Big offseason for AR. Let's go AR. Let's just be a professional athlete. Let's just do that. Getting paid a lot of money. Face of a program. Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. Statues and shit. Just fucking play ball. Just be a professional.
That's where it starts. Be a pro.
Just be a pro.
Yep.
Dimes will show.
But how could he ever know with the way that? I'm not getting into it.
Dimes will show him.
I'm not getting into it.
Dimes a pro.
Brad Biggs is reporting that the Chicago Bears are going to sign DN Deo Odingbo.
That's the former Colt. Yep.
Odingbo. 3-year contract for the defensive end from the Colts. He's got great size. He's 6'6", 286, and he's a perfect fit for DC. Dennis Allen says Brad Biggs.
Nice.
Deo.
Brad, you got any numbers?
It's a 3-year deal. It's a 3-year contract. Please.
Thanks, Brad.
Biggs is at the bottom of it all.
Biggs knows. I mean, this is huge.
I think so.
Yeah, massive deal for the Bears.
I agree. This is the one that puts him over the hump.
I think so.
Congrats to the Bears. Active.
It will be a big deal, though. Deo's going to get some money.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How big?
I would guess around 18.
3 years? 18
a year.
Really?
That's just me hypothesizing.
I was going to ask Rapids.
You know Biggs?
Brad?
You must know Brad Biggs. Is he leaking you the numbers?
No. I do know Brad, though. We used to hoop together.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The Bears are giving Deo a deal worth $16 million per year with $32 million fully guaranteed. Would have busted in Price is Right. Was damn close though.
Wow,
damn close there.
It was close.
D-Butch, $32 million fully guaranteed. Congrats to him going up to Chicago. Chicago investing in the trenches, continuing to do so. Obviously, the Bears have been what the Bears have been. Great fan base. great city.
Unbelievable.
Great atmosphere, great energy, great juice. Horrendous team.
Real bad.
Just top to bottom. Everything about it.
Yeah.
Absolute shite. Absolute shite.
But
we're not talking about just on the field. In the field, shite too, remember? Too high grass.
Whoa, we got Kentucky bluegrass.
camera angles.
No, they don't.
It's a terrible stadium. Just
Concerts every August.
literally every
Awesome concert.
every aspect of the Bears has been shite, I would say, except for the fans. That is, and the city, which is great. Very close. Love the travel up. Love the restaurants. Love
the lake.
Love walking around. Everything. Like, it is. But the Bears have been absolute shite. I don't even want to get into the Blackhawks. I don't even want to get into everything else, okay? We're not going to continue to
Best
pile
goalie
on.
in the league right now.
You guys suck, though.
You're welcome.
And Connor Bedard is.
Thank you.
Where has he been? Where has he been? But nonetheless, the Bears in their moves thus far have led me to believe that maybe those times are no more. Maybe the Bears are going to be a team that's going to be worthy of discussion in a positive light. Have invested in the right things, the smart things. And if Caleb Williams can be a guy, which I think we all saw glimpses.
Sure.
We all saw glimpses of. What a time to be a Chicago Bears fan. You made it. It feels like you made it. And are the Bears all the way back? We shall see.
They're giving Caleb a chance to be that guy, I think. And we definitely saw Caleb. Like, he can be that dude, I think, for a long time. He can be the franchise guy. Credit to the Bears for trying to build up around him, get the O-line, and get the D-line playing well. Like, you want to ease him into it, not put the whole game on Caleb's back. Obviously, be able to run the ball and stop the run on defense. But yeah, I mean, I like what the Bears are doing. I don't love the Bears. Never have loved the Bears as a team. But I'm impressed, and I respect the moves that they've made early on in free agency. I really do. FTB,
does that mean fuck the Bears?
Fuck the Bears, yes.
Rest in peace, by the way.
Rest in peace, Andy Isaac. Absolute legend in the Detroit area and nationally. I mean, so many people know him. He's awesome.
I follow him
Yes.
on X. Obviously, I've been a part of it. The experience with him and all the Saturday and the reaction that has been universal and unanimous. Everybody on the internet fucking loved this guy.
Loved him so much. Everyone did.
Myself included.
Yes.
I would like the city, I think, the team.
Loved him.
Everybody loved him.
Yeah, and his big thing, like you said, was #Fatterday. The Lions, the Tigers, the Pistons, the Red Wings, they all tweeted stuff out about that this past Saturday. And then also his number 2 thing was FTB, fuck the Bears.
Hell yeah.
Rest in peace, dude. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. You've done great. You've done great. Now we have another scoreboard for the free agent activity around the league. The Colts move to the number 2.
Hell yeah.
The leaders have 7. The New England Patriots, the Washington Commanders. There's a couple there at 6, teams that need to find it quickly. Look at the Bengals there making some plays. Either re-signing, extending, or getting rid of people. All right, teams are on the move. I love the Rams cooking.
Yeah, incredible.
I really love the Rams cooking.
Devontae.
Especially, Devontae with Matthew at this stage of career, with McVay at this stage of things, with what they could be with the fuck the picks situation where they weren't able to really keep up whenever it comes to drafting. And then now I love what the Rams are doing.
Are we surprised that we haven't got – because you get to this point where, hey, we're going to try to trade a guy, but then you get to a point where you have to cut the guy and lose. Do we think teams are waiting for Cooper Kupp to get cut so that they don't have to trade a pick for him? Or is there – because they just paid Devontae, there's no way he's going back to the Rams, correct?
I think so. I think they're waiting for him to get cut because teams love these draft picks. So I think they're definitely waiting for him to get cut. And Cooper Kupp, I think he's still got a lot of tread on his tire. I would love to see him in New England.
There's 100,000 people watching on YouTube right now.
Hell yeah.
Hell.
Well, good news. I'm going to give you something to stop watching for. We're going to take a break because I'm about to pee my pants. And on the other side, we'll be back continuing to cover all of the free agency frenzy. If it dies off, we'll stop. If it continues to cook, we'll keep going. It's a magical time for the NFL season. A lot of money is getting handed out. We'll be back on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5.
We're still bringing it.
I light every bridge I see here just to watch it burn. If you've seen all the hell I've seen, it make your stomach turn. I think you know why I do what I do when I do.
Started with 133 teams vying for one of these coveted 12 spots for this 12-team playoff, and it came down to 2 teams in the great state of Indiana kicking this entire thing off.
I might drink a little, I might smoke a lot, counting down the good times, staring down the clock, throw some
The best year of college football that it's ever had is about to have the greatest playoff it's ever had, and it all starts right here in front of Touchdown Jesus and his beautiful Irish people. And I think if you say, "Go Irish!" They'll do that all night. If you make this kick, I will double his kick to $500,000. I will also donate $250,000 to a charity of Chris Daly's choosing. Yeah, let it go.
Oh, God.
Not terrible. Not terrible. Proud of you. One kick, $750,000. The Lord is watching you. Man down. Man down.
That's all right.
$1 million. And there's a bunch of that have invaded.
There's a lot of them.
We don't just beat top 25 teams, we beat the shit out of them. Okay. Google here.
But one thing you didn't learn from me is talking all the shit you talk.
Welcome to the most electrifying atmosphere in all of sport. I know European soccer fans are wild. That's like 30 to 60,000. You're about to see all weekend 100,000 plus bananas atmosphere, and that is one part of the reason why college ball is so damn great.
Why are they drunk here? Is this not a fun show? No serious show. Serious football. Alabama Jones is very serious.
You know, he was trying to be funny, which I get it. And, you know, my daughter Kristen loves him, so that's kind of soothed the soul a little bit that somebody in our family likes the guy.
I choose to believe. In front of Touchdown Jesus and everybody looking down. IU gets a massive win over Notre Dame. Shane, I'm sorry.
You're a real scumbag. I thought Coach Cignetti coming out here was a real disgrace to the game. He left his players in the locker room to go get some camera time for himself. I know a legend like yourself would never do something like that. Would you?
No,
it's disgusting. I saw it. I thought, wow, what a sad, disgusting program. Notre Dame by 1 million. Go Irish.
Riley Leonard and the Irish from their own 2. Jeremiah Love breaks free. Jeremiah Love trying to go 98. Touchdown!
Might be fiction for a blowout here, fellas.
Couldn't wait to get to the wonderful state of OH! In the SEC, coming up to the Big Ten, when it's cold as hell, we shall settle the conversation here in beautiful Columbus. Coach, that hairline, you get a haircut every day?
Not every day. Not every day.
Big beard, big boot, Peters in tow, 500. Oh, this guy sucks. Holy hell. This guy's the worst we've ever seen. Just took out the Ohio State cheerleaders. $1 million here, JD level. Yep, this guy sucks at kicking, but we appreciate the hell out of you, JD.
Hey, JR. There he is.
He has once wiped 100 times.
What? Wiped what?
Yeah, 100 times. There are actually people out there, psychos obviously, that like the non-frosted Pop-Tarts. Gary's probably one of the best football players I've ever been around. Non-frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts.
I like non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
I like non-frosted Pop-Tarts.
Now, I, at one point this year, was the mayor of Cocktown. You were the mayor? Mayor of Cocktown, yeah. They voted me in there, and this is my
How do you become the mayor of Cocktown?
You just got to go around and say, listen, I heart cock. I heart cocks. Sorry, numerous. Whenever we found out that there was going to be a college football playoff game in Columbus, Ohio, we were all jacked up to see this Ohio State faithful be showcased to the entire world about how much they love football. Then we walked out here to this game day set this morning, and it was like, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home.
In that song, they say it's home. Home for me is the North, and the cold is going to be Dahn. Give me the Ohio State Buckeyes representing for the Big Ten.
How cool was Sean Perkins, the Ohio State football team, for allowing us to hang out in their facility pretty much all day Saturday? They had 5 TVs set up, a bunch of recliners. Roosters supplied some phenomenal food.
Arctic temperatures. AJ Hawkins on two warmers. Darius Bynum from South Florida. He's fucking in for it. You can check up on about first quarter, fourth quarter. It's all we want. It's all we It is.
Hand off on the count. Trevon Henderson in the open field. Trevon Henderson is scoring another ton for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Story of the game thus far as Chip Kelly is going mad dummy, bruh. All of Ohio is excited. They were singing long neck, ice cold beer never broke my heart. First read, second read, third read, scramble, ball on the ground. Check down. Would hate to be a Tennessee fan or a chair near Morgan Wallen because they have no hope right now. Will Howard. 101. Check. Jeremiah Smith. Touchdown. By and large, these games have absolutely stunk, Pat. Peter Herbstreit raising an absolute hell. A couple people up here with that smoky orange face paint on that are feeling like real assholes right now. As we look to the exits, and the Volunteers fans are saying, get my ass back to the South. This one's over. Bounces it. Touchdown, Ohio State. Boys, that was wide ass open. He's got left-handed. 500 drones. Ones that we know about. This game's over, but we're still bringing it.
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, UP. Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this massive overreaction free agency frenzy Monday, March 10th, 2025. Hour 4 starts now. Football! Oh, baby, that's AJ Hall.
Perfect.
Maybe Auger.
Talks Tables here at Boston Connor and Bruce Brown in for Ty Schmidt. Ty Schmidt, we love you, brother. One half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tone, back with the cowboy hat because football is riding again. 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler.
Yes,
Here,
sir.
baby D. Butch.
Butch.
Okay, so I think what we should do is we should kind of recap everything that has happened here. You know, over the weekend, a lot of big deals took place. Myles Garrett getting $40 million a year to stay with the Cleveland Browns. Josh Allen picks up 330 M's over 6 years. DK Metcalf gets a $30 million per year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Devontae Adams is now with the Los Angeles Rams. Bolton's back with the Chiefs. You know, there is plays and moves that have been made before the noon kickoff of this free agency that rattled the NFL a little bit. Whenever we talk about the Sunday signings, AJ, obviously the Myles Garrett one is the most jarring, or what are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I'd say it's the most jarring. I mean, honestly, one flew under the radar a little bit. Nick Bolton, the Chiefs bringing him back. The dude is still super young, and he makes plays every single game. So I like that one. I think Chiefs fans definitely would agree with that. And also, Harold Landry with New England, I think he's got plenty of juice left, and I think with Braves, I think it's going to be cool to see the little tricks of the trade. Braves with all that NFL experience as a player and a coach, he can help players out, and I think guys see that, and Harold Landry will benefit for sure.
Aaron Jones back to the Vikings, 2 years, $20 million with 13 guaranteed. Zach Ertz earns himself another season with the Commanders with Cliff Kingsbury's offense. D-Butch, what's the one we should be talking about? What's the big takeaway from before free agency frenzy started?
I got two. Devontae Adams. Rams. Love him. Been paired up with Puka. Still, once again, a lot of tread on his tire. Can run all the routes, his releases, understanding of offenses and defenses. So I love that. And then Josh Allen, the big fish, the quarterback, for the Bills to pay their guys early. He had 4 years left on his deal. Didn't have to do it, but to pay him early. And then also not even jump the DAC as far as APY, give him a bunch of money guaranteed. So I think that's great business from both sides, taking care of your guy fresh off an MVP run and still leaving your team the flexibility to build around him.
And today obviously saw a lot of money given out. J.C. Horn this morning,
Yep.
$25 million. Milton Williams, $30 or $26 million.
26, yep.
$26 million a year handed out. And now we have breaking news. Another bag has been dropped. Let's go down to Duval. De'Ami Brown, formerly of the Commanders, has signed a 1-year, $10 million deal worth up to $12 million. You would assume there's elevators and incentives, both team-based and personal-based. Congrats to De'Ami. He made a name for himself this year.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in that Jaden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury offense. Getting $10 million, that's a good signing. If I'm De'Ami, I'm pumped. And if I'm Liam Cohen, I'm excited. What are they doing down there? What's Gladstone thinking, D-Bucks?
Cooking. Sean McVay told you don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on that baby face. So, once again, it all comes around building your team and then putting pieces in place where your quarterback can succeed. You got a quarterback that's making $55 million a year. You want to put pieces around him to help as much as possible. Losing Christian Kirk, I think he was a great piece, just couldn't stay healthy there at the end. Losing Evan Ingram, you need some more pass catchers in there.
He's allegedly Denver conversation. Evan Ingram, who said he let a dog off the leash. AJ, the big news from today, Sam Darnold, now a member of the Seattle Seahawks on a $100.5 million deal. How do you feel about that now that we've had a few moments to kind of recalibrate, AJ?
It feels right to me. And what we've heard Bill Belichick, he said everybody likes Sam Darnold but the New York Jets. Like everywhere else he went, it seems like everyone seemed to really like Sam and what he was able to do on the field. But how similar is this deal to the deal Bake got when Bake, had his reassert, like when he came back on the scene as a bona fide franchise QB?
I think
Pretty
Baker's
similar, isn't it?
original one was 25, and then they just upped it. But I will look for sure.
Felt like $25 million was the number there for like every veteran quarterback that was starting in a new place. This one in between 35 or 33, I guess, 33.337, which is allegedly similar offer that was made to Gino Smith by the Seattle Seahawks. Gino Smith turns that down, gets traded to the Raiders. We have another bag potentially being dropped at an Oose's door.
Ooh.
Former San Francisco 49er safety, All-Pro Hufanga, is allegedly finalizing an agreement with the Denver Broncos, says Schultz, who's been having a good day. Schultze's been having a good day today. Schultze obviously had a time in a Starbucks numerous times throughout his life, but one that was documented here in Indianapolis alongside Ian Rapoport. Two dogs trying to bark at the same bone, trying to get in the insider game. Schultze certainly attempting that. Hufanga's a dog.
Yes.
Now that is, Cam Bynum to the Colts, big deal, obviously. 4 years, $60 million deal. That is massive. Hopefully a tone setter and a changer. Adam Schefter is now reporting that Hufanga has agreed to a 3-year contract worth up to $45 million, including $20 million guaranteed at signing. Shout out to Chris Cabot, the CEO of Equity Sports. Your thoughts on Hufanga? He's a game wrecker.
Absolute game record, just staying healthy for him, and that's pretty much on par with what Bynum got here. Bynum got an extra year, so he's up to 60, but good deal. If he can stay healthy, he can fly around. That Broncos defense is already stacked. Got Nick up front, rushing the passer. Got Pat Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year. Riley Moss on the other side, and now you got a dynamic playmaker at safety.
Baker Mayfield's deal, 3-year, $100 million, $50 million guaranteed. Good recall, AJ.
Yeah, baby.
Good recall, AJ.
Yeah, felt pretty similar. But honestly, to Hufanga, I wouldn't be shocked. I thought Hufanga may even get more money. I think people, because he got hurt this year, they almost sleep on him and what he's been able to do. The guy's awesome. I think this is a great signing by Denver.
Pumped we got Cam Bynum. Didn't know Hufanga was available. Pumped we got Cam Bynum. Schefter is reporting more about the Milton Williams deal. It includes $63 million in guarantees with $104 total over a 4-year period. Yeah. Carolina worked on a deal, but New England upped its price and would not be denied. So that's exactly what Rap Sheet was hearing whenever he was on with us. Whenever we said Milton Williams is done to him, he said, no. because he was getting information that there was a team that was like, we're still in the fight. We are still negotiating. New England said, we want our guy, up it to $63 million in guarantees. Con man, happy to hear this?
Yeah, so pumped. The biggest thing is just would not be denied. Like I think there's a clear plan of how they want this team to look. Now, of course, once again, can't win games today, even though it seems pretty clear the Patriots have won a few games. I mean, 5 new starters on defense, but I think that's the most important thing is that they're going all in.
We have another bag being dropped by Brandon Beane. And the Buffalo Bills former Chargers wide receiver Josh Palmer has now been signed to the Buffalo Bills on a 3-year deal worth $36 million, $18 million guaranteed, and deal done by Adisa Bakari of the Sports and Entertainment Group. They don't just do sports. They don't just do entertainment. They do sports and entertainment.
Nice.
The group that does that. Shout out to Adisa Bakari. Shout out to Josh Palmer. Number 5 would be making plays for the Chargers all over the place. Never the name that was talked about as the wide receiver of the Chargers, ever. It was always somebody else. But he was always there, always available. Third down, felt like he cooked a lot. Now he's getting $18 million in guarantees to join Josh Allen, the league's MVP. I love this signing for the Bills.
I remember before the season, D-Bot and I were talking about it. We were talking about Josh Palmer, and we're like, he's good too. He is a great 3, which he will be in Buffalo behind Shakir and Keon Coleman. But as a third option, as a deep threat, Josh Palmer, he can go get it.
Always productive. He's going to show up. He's great off the field. Not going to have any issues there. And great on the field. He's going to show up and be productive. So another good weapon for Josh Allen. Now, Keon Coleman, we're going to see him take that next step. Shakir's great in the slot, so I think they can have a nice little 3-headed monster.
We have the Bills offseason thus far. They signed Shakir a couple weeks ago to a $32 million guarantee. They signed a long snapper, shout out Reed Ferguson. They signed Greg Rousseau on Saturday, $54 million guaranteed. They signed Bernard yesterday to a $25.2 million guarantee, and then they signed Josh Allen to a $147 million, $250 million guarantee, and now they signed Josh Palmer with another $18 million. They're spending up there in Buffalo. They are sick of it. They are sick of it. They're hearing what every Buffalo Bills fan's saying. They're hearing what every national narrative is. These guys can't beat the Chiefs. These guys got no chance. They're done with it. They had to revamp their roster, got rid of a lot of names last year. Now they're in a new spot. They're spending money. They're building. Good for them. We have another bag being dropped. Josh Sweat from the Eagles is signing with the Cardinals on a 4-year, $76.4 million, including $41 million in guarantees. Deal negotiated by Drew Rosenhaus. Congrats to Sweat. Listen, you win a Super Bowl. If you win, there's enough to go around, they say. It might not be here, but there is enough to go around. Sweat gets $41 million guaranteed from the Cardinals. AJ, how do you feel about the move?
I think it's a great move. I mean, this just shows you go in there and you make plays in the Super Bowl and all throughout the playoffs, like you will be rewarded. But the Cardinals have been eerily quiet, I feel like, throughout the early on in free agency, haven't they? This is their first real giant splash, I think.
Yeah, certainly. And I think their name was mentioned for Milton Williams.
Yeah.
I think that's what Rapoport told us, is whenever it was being reported that a deal was finalized with the Panthers for Milton, he said, I don't know if the deal's been signed yet. And then he mentioned the Cardinals being interested. Did not mention the Patriots being interested. Inevitably, Patriots end up getting Milton Williams done, and now the Cardinals get their guy in Josh Sweat. I'll tell you what, Darius Slay goes, Sweat goes, old buddy goes,
Milton
Williams goes. Who else?
Isaiah McKinney.
James Bradbury did get released.
Yeah, he got cut.
Where's he going to go?
Isaiah Rodgers.
Isaiah Rodgers. There it is. Jace. Sorry, Isaiah. That's 100% on me. Good pull.
Good work, Bush.
Hey, that was a good pull, D-Butch.
Need that.
A lot of Eagles players getting some cash.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yes.
Congrats to the Cardinals dancing a little bit here. Now, they have to spend money. Like, that is something. You have to spend a certain amount of money every single year. So you can't just Pittsburgh Pirates baseball this.
No, you can't.
You can't just sit out.
No.
Like, you have to spend. The money has to go somewhere. Yeah, thank God. Thank God.
Jeez.
We put 60 in Cam Bynum. Cardinals put a bunch in here. Is there going to be any other moves today? I think so.
I think, yes, absolutely.
It's been pretty active.
Yeah.
I genuinely think because X was down, slowed down a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think a lot of GMs and everybody kind of paying attention, scouting departments, paying attention to everything going around everywhere. Now they're old school on phone, sending a pigeon down the street.
Throwback.
Yeah, I'm not on Threads. What the fuck?
What's that?
I don't know how to do this. That was crazy. It's been down again in the last hour. Elon came
Cyber
out,
attack?
That's what Elon. Elon came out and said it's been a cyber attack, either by an organized group or maybe a country, is what he said.
Oh.
And I'll tell you what, it makes sense because this thing's been down.
Who do you think it is, AJ?
It could be a multitude of countries or people, I guess, D, but who do you think?
It would have to be a powerful group, bro. Have to be a powerful group.
I got one in mind.
Very powerful, because he said didn't Elon even say like they come after him all the time, right? Like they're always trying to hold those people off.
Yeah, I think any platform gets attacked. I think cyber attacks happen, and it's like teenage kids sometimes, or some dark web folks figure something out and they get in there. This one had to be pretty big. I watched a dodgeball game on ESPN News this weekend.
Nice.
And I don't know, the Irish brothers, I don't know if they were the O'Reillys maybe. I think they were the O'Reillys.
O'Reillys.
Both of them. I think they were the O'Reillys. I think both of them southpaw. Both of them lefties. So when I turned on ESPN News and there was a dodgeball competition, earlier in the day there was a tire wrestling championship. Interesting. I don't know how these sports get on ESPN, but it was certainly.
That sounds stupid.
It was interesting.
What? They wrestle the tire?
No, they wrestle each other
in a tire.
But there's a big tire in the middle of the mat.
All right.
Mat kind of small. I would say like probably size of this area in here, with a couple tractor ranch, like massive tires. Two of them stacked on top of each other. Mats around. Small room with flashing lights. Like flashing lights going like this. Commentator was the ref. I mean, it was.
Yeah, like that.
It was like in a little office building. I don't know. I was very fascinated by it. The goal was to get your opponent 51% into the tires. So you're literally dumping people into the tire. I did not see anybody do it. I sent a text immediately like, so how does a sport like this get an ESPN? Like how does this? Because it seemed interesting. I watched, and shout out to a couple of the wrestlers. They certainly grounded and pounded their opponents, and they won by points. I didn't see anybody get stacked in the entire thing. But then later on ESPN News, it's almost like it was an Ocho day on the news. There was a dodgeball dodgeball All-Star Classic or something like that. And when I turned it on, it was 6-on-4. Then it was like 6-on-3 midway through the game here. And then it ended up being like 5-on-2. And the two are just these two brothers, lefties, the O'Reillys. I think was their name. The coordinated attacks that these motherfuckers were doing.
I love it.
We're talking blindside and headshots. Like, literally knew one was going to throw low.
We prepared for this.
So the other one's going to jump, and then this one was throwing a facial to the floor. We're talking sniped them all, ended up winning with 2-0.
Wow.
They took the entire team out. Just them alone. They ended up being champions of the game that I saw. And I think the O'Reillys, a lot of their strategy was, a little bit of whoop-de-woo and then a hooty-hoo coming in there. And I think that's potentially what happened to Elon Musk's platform.
Yeah.
I think somebody sent him a little whoop-de-woo, sent him on a little bit of a chase this way, and then all of a sudden comes in the back door, we're taking it down on NFL free agency day. That can't happen.
Hey, lock in, Eli. I know you got a bunch of other shit going on. Lock in.
We need you on NFL free agency day.
The big day.
Need you. It's the day. We got
another Bagman report.
Here we go.
Luke Farrell has agreed to terms with the 49ers on a 3-year contract worth up to $20.25 million. $11 million guaranteed. That deal was done by IHC Sports, per sources. I have connections. Sports. Got this deal done for Luke Farrell, formerly of the Jacksonville Jaguars, now of the San Francisco 49ers. He is an IO guy. What is the Niners getting in a Luke Farrell football player, AJ?
I mean, lunch pail guy, first in, last one out, coach on the field, absolute grinder. We love this guy.
Wow.
From Perry, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
We know what that means immediately, right, AJ?
Yep. There's some tough people to come from that area.
That's right, AJ. This guy will chew on glass if he has to.
Right.
Yes.
This guy will run through a wall.
Right.
This guy will fight. And this guy's going to San Francisco. George Kittle, Luke Farrell is the tight end room for the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy contract looming. We all kind of think that is kind of looming overhead. How do we feel about the Niners? How do you feel about this signing?
I mean, I love the Niners. They always, I feel like, get it right in the offseason. For me, for the Niners, it's going to be all about Christian McCaffrey. What's his health status? Obviously, Brock Purdy's going to be there. They got his right, so they'll figure that out. Bosa may be there as well. You lose some players, but they always retool and rebuild.
Oh, yeah, Joey Bosa.
Yeah,
potentially going
I would
out.
love to see that, two South Florida kids teaming up, being able to play on the same team. That would be dope. But, yeah, I'm not worried about the 49ers. They always make the right moves this time of year. It's all about C-Mac, how healthy he's going to be.
I will say, speaking of C-Mac, the McCaffreys have some protein bites.
Oh, yeah.
That were delivered to Radio Row backstage, and then Tone bought a bunch of bags of them. Very good. Very, very delightful. And they have a family photo across the bag. Christian's the shortest. He's the shortest in the family. They got Olympians all over the place, professional athletes all over the place. And they're a different team if Christian McCaffrey's playing football for them.
Yeah, tough on defense, too, because they're losing, allegedly, Charvarius Ward, who's still out there, hasn't signed anywhere. Hufanga is now gone as well, him going to Denver. But you also wonder, like, how healthy Ayuk's going to be, because he missed the entire year with that ACL, and obviously Debo's gone now, so it's just kind of Kittle, Jawan Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall that you can assume is going to be ready week one, pending, Brandon Ayuk's status after this offseason.
Bob Saleh back, too.
Yeah, Bob Saleh's
defensive side.
And Bob Saleh got maybe his joy.
Greenlaw's going to get paid, right? When's that happen?
Ooh. That's weird that it hasn't happened with all the linebackers that have been paid.
Yeah.
You talk about the trenches, the linebackers have made a lot of money.
Yeah, how much
Well,
did he
Bob
play?
Spillane, set the tone.
Well, Bob Spillane always sets the tone, not just today. But how much did Greenlaw end up playing last year? Because remember, he came back and then he was in and out for a little. And
Yeah, it was weird. He was re-injured or re-aggravated. Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Tony, you want to do a giveaway?
I'd love to.
We'll see if any announcements come while the giveaway happens.
Yeah.
If not,
hell yeah,
we will wrap until tomorrow. A lot of money has been handed out.
Oh, yeah.
Ton.
Over $1 billion just yesterday in contracts.
Yeah, we got to be close to $2 billion. Coming into the show, we were at 1.68, so probably at least 1.8, 1.9, probably 1.3 guaranteed.
Yeah, I would say that we're up over $2 billion in contracts.
Yeah.
Hey, the NFL's in a good place.
Gotta love it.
We'd like to say thank you to the players that kind of, paved the way for this league to be what it is. And I know there's always an interesting convo about how they've been treated by the league, by the NFLPA, the old school players. And anytime they're interviewed, one of the first things they say is, would have been nice, would have been nice to make $30 million a year. I made $400,000 over a 10-year career and had to work 3 jobs, But it was on those men's shoulder pads that this game was built into what it is today.
Hell yeah.
And this game is electrifying, this game is captivating, this game is mesmerizing, and this game is incredibly profitable. And those who make the game profitable are the ones that deserve to get paid, and they are. If it's over $2 billion in the last 2 days in contracts, I'd like to say what an honor it was to be a player, and congrats to all these players making this league as great as it is.
Yeah.
And, everybody's going to bitch about the CBA deals and who deserves more money and yada, 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 yada. That's a lot of money going to people that will certainly earned it.
Oh, yeah.
But will certainly change the trajectory of a lot of people's lives and families' lives and generations changing. So these are cool things to talk about whenever we're watching these money bags get sent everywhere. It's like family trees are changing course in real time. It's all been earned. There's been a lot of hard work, but that's a cool day for a lot of people. Cool day. Milton Williams, what a cool day for him.
Unreal.
What a cool day. 26, making it to the NFL and professional football player. Cool.
Yeah, these are like dream moment steps, scholarship to college, boom, huge.
Yeah.
Getting drafted, boom, huge. A second contract, like that's
Third
big. And then
contract.
third, fourth, I mean, that's, obviously, but this is a huge day.
You get rich whenever you get to the NFL if you play. Okay, you get rich. Depending upon, where you get drafted, yada, yada, yada. But if you play a season or 2 seasons in the NFL, you're going to be considered a rich person. You get wealthy from the second and third contracts. So whenever we see these, this has been something that is probably very emotional for these guys whenever they sign it and they learn what it is. Their families, their friends, their coaches. It's like, you did it. This is the American dream for a lot of people. You did it. And shout out to the state of the league right now that it's all possible.
Yeah, like Robert Spillane. You know, he started in Pittsburgh, Matt guy, Big Ben mentioned, and then I don't know if he gets cut by or released by Pittsburgh, but obviously has to go to Vegas. And he only got like a 2-year, $10 million deal. And now he just got like $23 million guaranteed. Yeah. You doubt someone like that who was just trying to get a spot on the team who's now, like a guy who's being brought in to flip an entire culture. It's like, that's crazy.
Congratulations to all of these lads. Congratulations to all these lads. It's awesome. It is awesome.
So cool.
And you're worth exactly what somebody's willing to pay you.
Yes.
I love that when they overpaid. You got over.
They're not worth. He's not worth that. Well, he just signed the deal, so obviously he is to somebody.
We actually just found out that is exactly what he is worth.
Yeah.
This isn't a projection anymore. This is a fucking actuality. This is a reality. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm worth. You know how I know that? Because that's what they're fucking paying me. So congrats to all these guys. And all you are underpaid. And I hope everybody that's still a free agent, I hope you make $1 billion. And if you're watching at home, I hope you know you have a chance to win some money today. But not just today. You have a chance to win some money at Big Night Out. And I'll be announcing the date of that show this evening. Got to piece together a video, to make sure we list out everything that should be expected and everything that is possible and when the tickets are going to go on sale. That is currently being discussed right now, getting figured out in my phone in real time. So let's say about 7:30, 7 o'clock-ish, there'll be an announcement on what the date is. And I'm so pumped to spend a night, not only with the lads, but with all the people that make this show possible. And if you're from the area, I think it's going to be worth a watch. I think it's going to be worth a trip. I think, from what we pieced together. Got even better this weekend. Everything really this weekend.
Love it.
Yeah. Too much. I said that last week. Feels like everything's kind of going too smooth.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's all right. It's okay. I understand the feeling, but that's okay. It just means you're doing it right.
Yep.
Well, the people that are going to be doing the in-arena production and staging and everything like that is the WWE. So, going to have everything in the arena at a level that has been doing it for years and years, and I'm excited. It's going to be a big
It's perfect.
night. All right, Tone, let's win some money for some people here today. What are you going to do?
Whatever you want.
Okay. That's why I asked you. I wanted to know what you wanted to do. Okay. You're going to put a football into that hoop right over there? All right. If you do that, 30 people will win $500. All you got to do is put that football into that hoop. Oh, shit.
Oh, right.
Hey, that was
Tony.
a good throw. That was a good throw, Tony. Even with the cowboy hat, which is a little difficult, because Tony likes to take that football to his ear. Mm-hmm. He has good form, and he used to have good pop time, too, so that cowboy hat can get in the way. Cowboy hat can get in the way. The cowboy hat stays out of the way. And Tony's able to put that football into that hoop right over there. 30 people will win $500. All you have to do is repost this post.
Oh, no.
That's a little bit too strong.
Okay.
Hit a pile of boxes that have been piling up for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Excited for somebody to go through that and let us know what we missed.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Only 2 weeks?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Get that done today.
30 people could win $500, Tone. All you got to do is put that football into that hoop. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, thought that was going to bounce in.
Tone, before you throw this next one, can you hear anything anybody saying?
No. I can though.
No. Con Man has a motivational speech for you.
Look, Tony, we ride again. You didn't just wear that cowboy hat just to wear it. You wore that cowboy hat because you knew there was glory in this day for both Pittsburgh and for the people watching because you got one of those footballs in your hand. You can change their lives.
And that man's got Cox on his forehead.
Uh-huh.
And he's got a head coach on his back.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tone Diggs. He's able to put that football into that hoop. 30 people.
Oh.
That's a good throw.
That was right there.
Zito.
Come on, Tony.
Zito said, is this the last attempt?
Got 2 more.
Is this the super flat ball? You should probably save the, you should throw the super flat.
You got to make it.
Yeah, cold weather and everything.
Yeah, we'll add that. We'll
You
add
only
that
need
to
one.
the boxes.
You only need one.
Yeah, you won't need one, but you should save no, you should put your best one forward.
Mm-hmm.
Zito wants one of these to be universe ball for Aaron Rodgers to the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one's the one. 30 people, $500. All you got to do is...
So
close.
Sorry about it.
So close. 30 people, $500. All Tone has to do is put this flat football, Baby Duke, into the hoop.
Oh,
man.
Any more news break? All right, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. Be your friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together, okay? Let's never forget that. Look for a video on all social media channels at about 7:30-ish. If you are in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, the date will be released. And also how this is probably going to go, you know? A little bit more detail and information. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. We're the luckiest people on earth. Team on me! Happy free agency frenzy, boys.
Hell yeah.
It rolls on.
Oh, yeah.
It rolls on.
Big time.
We'll be back manana. Monday Night Raw on Netflix tonight, live from Madison Square Garden.
Can't wait.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, a buzzer beater!
Here we go.
Guard Patrick Makari has agreed to a deal with the Jaguars for 3 years, $37.5 million. Max value, $39 million with incentives, over $20 million guaranteed. Have no idea where this guy played last year, but I am pumped that Baltimore Ravens, I see purple. I am pumped that he's going down to Jacksonville because I love that the Jacksonville Jaguars have started dancing in this thing. Jags are making plays. Gladstone ain't sitting around with that fresh baby face. No, he's chugging coffee, letting some beard grow, and he's saying we got to change a culture down here in Duval. Anytime you invest in an offensive lineman, we love it, especially somebody from Baltimore, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville, they need to do something quick. We know if they continue to lose games, people start to lose interest in the Jacksonville Jaguars, at least nationally. So I think they're smart getting on the board, trying to go out there and have a fast start and make some noise down there, because there was a period of time when Jacksonville was back and they were very relevant and we felt like they had a chance. And I think the last couple of years we have not felt that way.
I love this. I don't know if they have a stadium the next couple of years, right? Having people say they don't have a stadium.
Building one, right?
Building a stadium. I mean, they got a lot of adversity ahead. And I like that they're just stepping in the batter's box and swinging the bat. Once again, have to spend the money. But I love that they're going big. Day one signing here on free agency. Congrats to the Jags. Okay. The Bears have given another bag out.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit. Grady Jarrett, formerly of the Atlanta Falcons, All-Pro, Pro Bowler, is now with the Chicago Bears on a 3-year, $43.5 million deal, including $28.5 guaranteed with the Chicago Bears. This deal was negotiated by Todd France at A1 Athletes First. Congrats to the Bears. Hey, I love what the Chicago Bears are doing. I love Grady Jarrett. Whenever I read that he was being released from the Atlanta Falcons, I thought they were releasing a leader and an absolute dog. Now he's going up to Chicago, change of culture. I think he's going to be loved in Chicago, AJ. I love the way this guy plays ball.
No, Grady Jarrett's awesome. I know he's played, I think he's 10 years in by now, so good for him getting this money this late in his career. But you're right, I was surprised that the Falcons moved on from him. This dude was an absolute staple of that defense and interior D-line, so another one for the Bears. Yeah, I feel like these guys are really making things happen early in free agency.
D-Bud, how do you feel about Grady Jarrett, who was a part of the rule change of tackling quarterbacks? Because when Tom Brady was with the Bucs, this guy was such a menace. He was just getting up the middle, and then there was a dance, a throw, a land on, a dance, that whole thing. He's a massive piece of it all. He's a game wrecker.
Absolutely. It has been for a decade. Anytime a guy spends a decade in one spot, that tells you a lot about who that guy is, what the organization feels about him, how the city probably feels about him. So, once again, another great move by the Bears in the trenches, setting this team up for success going forward.
There is another bag, this one being dropped in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The top guard is now off the market. 49ers guard Aaron Banks is expected to sign with the Packers as quarterback Jordan Love gets another bodyguard, says Rap Sheet. Aaron Banks to the Packers. Packers making a play on first day of free agency. I know Ty is somewhere excited about this move. AJ, how do you feel?
I like them getting on the board here. Like you said, like Rap Sheet says, the top guard off the market. Yeah, why not? I mean, Green Bay is set up for success for a long time if you think about it. If they can just keep Jordan Love upright, keep him healthy, the defense continues to get better and better. The Packers are looking good, I think.
I'm pumped for the Pack.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Love, is he a guy? I think they still have questions. There's some games where I guess he's able.
He's getting paid like it.
Then there's some games where
That's for sure.
he makes some mistakes. And it's like he's just going to continue to get better. People forget, he's obviously had to be repaid because of how the first contract went where he sat behind. He's seen a lot of things for the first time. I think his athletic ability, the team loves him. His arm is crazy. And he's got the moxie. He's not scared to
gunslinger.
Spin that thing. Yeah, he is a gunslinger at quarterback. You get some protection for him. Matt LaFleur able to continue to cook up magic. Good for the Packers making a play. All
Definitely, definitely going to help him, but it's going to also help Josh Jacobs, who had a great year last year. So more beef in that interior will help 8 carrying that rock.
Josh Jacobs was a great signing. You lose
so
Aaron
good.
Jones, we're all confused.
And
then you bring in Josh Jacobs, who led the NFL, I think, in rushing the year before for the Raiders.
Yep.
And he comes to the Packers. He just fits right in. And they use him on a regular. I mean, he became the guy.
He's a bell
tone
cow.
setter.
Yeah, love that. Good for your Packers, AJ. All right, we're in this thing together. Team on me. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Good night.